Thank you, Mark. Cracking atmosphere in the West Midlands inside this great old football ground. Referee Anthony Taylor, all in black with the rain tumbling down all around him, gives it a long loud blast on the whistle to try and get the game started, but three Newcastle players in their strident green shirts, the change kit this afternoon, had set off too early, so we're going to do that again. We've done it again and we are underway. Our second Premier League commentary of the afternoon on 5 Live Sport. Wolves against Newcastle. Newcastle with an early attack down the right. Ball into the penalty area from Bruno Guimaraes first time. Mateusz Cunha controls the clearance. He's fouled by Guimaraes. That'll be a free kick to Wolves. Straight away, Paul Robinson. You and I both had Wolves written down as a back three of Max Kilman, Craig Dawson and Totti Gomez. It looks slightly different this afternoon the way they've started.
It does. It looks like Gary O'Neill's changed it up to match his opposite number, Eddie Howe. He's playing with a back four. Totti Gomez has dropped in at left back, Semedo in at right back, Neto on the right hand side and Hwang on the left hand side to make a 4-3-3.
Oh, Hwang chasing a ball over the top. There was a foul there though on Jamal Lascelles as Hwang jumped for it. He complains about the referee's decision, but he's certainly not going to change his mind. So that will be a free kick for Newcastle just outside their penalty area. In terms of the Premier League table this evening and where these two stand, two teams in excellent form in terms of recent Premier League games. Wolves unbeaten in the last 4, Newcastle with 4 wins and a draw in the last 5. Wolves start in 13th, win today and they could go 10th above Crystal Palace, Chelsea and Brentford. Newcastle starting in 6th spot, they could go above Aston Villa on goal difference with a win. It would take them to 19 points and stick them in one behind Liverpool. Defending for Newcastle to do though. Neto in on the right hand side, second touch of the ball, slightly overran it, which allowed Nick Pope to come off his line and grab it for Newcastle. Paul Robinson.
He was quick there, Neto, wasn't he? He showed his pace on that right hand side, playing slightly wider than we're used to seeing him so far this season. Exposed Lascelles and Shaw on that right hand side. Lascelles couldn't touch him, got past him. This first warning shot for Newcastle, got into the box.
So one change for Newcastle from the defeat against Borussia Dortmund on Wednesday night. Callum Wilson starts up front in place of the injured Alexander Isak. Back-to-back Premier League starts for Wilson, a 4th Premier League start of the season. He'll be absolutely chomping at the bit. And for Wolves, 2 changes from the win at Bournemouth. Nelson Semedo and Mario Lemina both return from suspension. Matt Doherty and Joao Gomez are the 2 players to drop to the bench. I'll give you the full lineups in just a second. Almiron busting a gut to chase a ball down the right hand side. Totti follows him, gets some studs on it and knocks it out for a throw in to Newcastle on the right. You've been quite struck by the atmosphere, haven't you, Paul, in here?
They do it well pre-match,
really well, don't they?
I've been here a couple of times and they do it really well. I mean, any ground under lights is, I always think there's a better atmosphere anyway, but especially here at Molineux under the lights before the game with the pyrotechnics and the music, they really do it well.
Yeah, no, pre-match build-up is excellent here, and they certainly crank the sound system up to the max. Throw in from Trippier is a delicate one onto the boot of Almiron, gives it back to him. Ball into Longstaff, wide to Almiron. Trippier's in perfect position behind him to get this cross in from the right, flicked on by Gordon at the near post. Wilson will chase that and keep the ball in play down by the byline away to our right. Newcastle in these green shirts, white shorts and green socks, playing from left to right in the first half towards the Sir Jack Hayward stand, which is packed with Wolves fans, slightly unusually at Molineux, and we were remarking on this before kick-off. The away fans are stretched out along one side of the ground, so the opposite side to us is the Steve Bull stand. It's a 2-tier stand, and the top half, there's the kind of bigger section of that stand is all Wolves fans, and in the thinner lower tier beneath, all those in the black and white stripes are Newcastle.
And they're travelled in the numbers again, haven't they?
Oh.
They've got a lot of football to watch this year, some Champions League nights, a lot of Premier League fixtures as well, but they always travel well, Newcastle. They've got a great support, a great fan base, and they're getting the rewards for a few years without some top-flight football and Champions League football. I mean, it was another fantastic occasion midweek at St James's. The result wasn't there, but the atmosphere and the fan base certainly was.
Jose Sarr all in pink, clears for Wolves right-footed. Trippier lets it drift over his head, then runs behind to collect it. He's been muscled off it by Ait-Nouri, fouled Ait-Nouri, but Cunha picks up the running for Wolves down the left. Almiron chases him. Cunha stumbles, wants a free kick, but the throw-in goes to Newcastle. Let's give you the 2 teams then. Jose Sarr in goal for Wolves, as Paul has explained. Back 4, Semedo right back, Totti left back, Kilman and Dawson the 2 centre-backs. That has pushed Ait-Nouri further on down the left-hand side. So Neto wide on the right, Ait-Nouri on the left, Lamina and Boubacar Traore as the central midfielders. Here come Wolves again, edge of the box, and that was Neto trying to feed Hwang, and Wolves win their first corner of the evening. So the front two are Hwang and Mateus Cunha, the Brazilian.
Started well, Wolves, coming off the back of a 4-game unbeaten run. Newcastle, for me, this is their first real test of the season. Yes, they've had the indifferent start, they've picked that up, they've got the results. They had that fantastic win away that we know about at Sheffield United 8-0, but they've struggled away from home. They've won one away in all competitions, and coming here today off the back of a disappointing Champions League game in midweek, with injuries, with suspensions, it's a real test for them tonight at Newcastle.
Corner for Newcastle to defend, low one from Neto into the near post, didn't quite get enough on that. It's volleyed away by Almiron and goes behind for another corner to Wolves. Ball coming towards Neto, he didn't see it, being lobbed at him from the side of the pitch, so it's gone bouncing past him.
Great night for football, isn't it?
Oh, lovely.
He's sat here, the rain's pouring down, no wind, not a breath of wind. Probably not a great night for spectators sat without cover, but it's a great night to play.
Neto waiting to take the corner from the left. Right arm raised in the air. Bit more purchase on this one. Into the near post. Header not clear. Totti tries to turn and shoot. The ball's loose inside the box. Laid back. Nuri scuffs it badly with his right foot. Leans back and puts it miles wide and miles too high. And that'll be a Newcastle goal kick. So Wolves 0, Newcastle 0. 6 minutes in. The rain is getting ever heavier. Paul had the old weather app out before the game. You said it was coming, and it's indeed arrived. Nick Pope in goal. Kieran Trippier, Jamal Lascelles making a 7th consecutive start in all competitions, with Sven Botman, one of those, out injured. Fabian Schär and Dan Burn make up the back four. Sean Longstaff, Bruno Guimaraes and Joe Linton, with Callum Wilson through the middle, Anthony Gordon and Miguel Almiron, his partners as it were, playing left and right of him. Newcastle have a throw in an attacking position on the left. They've played back into their own half. Lascelles across to Trippier. Trippier looks up and slides a pass through the middle. Good first touch from Joe Linton. Longstaff makes the run, collects it on the edge of the box. Couple of touches, shoots across goal and only just misses. That went through the legs of Craig Dawson. It left Jose Sarr unsighted. That wasn't far away. That
was so close. We were right behind that. Joe Linton finds himself in acres of space in the middle of the park. Kieran Trippier fires the ball into him. It's a great first touch. And Longstaff again, he's in so much space on this right hand side. Nobody goes to close him down. Gets into the box, 12 yards out on the angle, fires it just wide of Jose Sarr's far post.
He started scoring goals again for Newcastle this season, Sean Longstaff. I saw him get one in the 8-0 win at Bramall Lane, 2 in the Premier League. One of those at Bournemouth last weekend, one in the Champions League as well. Neto with a clever turn on the halfway line, couldn't quite then get onto the ball that had been played forward for him. Nick Pope under pressure, pokes it with his right foot to Trippier. 2 Wolves players in the old golden black closing in. Trippier's clearance headed forward by Totti. Hwang is onside. Trippier leans into him. Hwang gets past him. Sliding challenge from Lascelles, and Wolves win another corner, 0-0.
Brilliant from Hwang and Cunha. High pressing. Wolves have set off on the front foot, pressing Newcastle under pressure. There's times where you want to play from your goalkeeper, when you want to play from your fullbacks, your centre halves, but there's times as a goalkeeper you have to make a decision. It's not on, you have to go longer, and goalkeepers are finding more and more trouble by trying to play out and play the way managers want to, and Nick Pope just put his team under pressure by doing so.
So speaks a former England goalkeeper in Paul Robinson, with us on 5 Live and BBC Sounds Live at Molineux. Neto's corner in from the left, punch from Pope, clear, volleyed by Traore, cleared away by Lascelles. He then tries to get the Newcastle defence pushing up as high as they can, and that'll go out for a Wolves throw on the right hand side. We've seen some and heard about some fabulous goals scored across the continent in the world of football today. So Jude Bellingham's got 2 for Real Madrid today at the Nou Camp. They were 1-0 down and beat Barcelona by 2 goals to 1. Harry Kane has scored from inside his own half as part of a hat-trick in a Bayern Munich 8-0 win against Darmstadt. Eddie Nketiah's got a hat-trick, and I think Billings' winner for Bournemouth for their first win of the season came from about 40 yards out as well.
I've seen Bellingham's goals. I mean, if you get a chance tonight, please go onto the iPlayer, go onto the app and watch Bellingham's goals. I mean, he's got a cheat code for this game at the moment, hasn't he?
Totti does well for Wolves. They're trying to play out from the back. Trippier races in to try and nick it off the toe of Nuri. He appeals for the throw-in, and the assistant referee, who's standing immediately to his right, and that's Gary Bezic, agrees and gives the throw in to Newcastle. Thrown to the feet of Almiron. 9 minutes in. Rugby Union World Cup final with Martin Johnson, former World Cup winning captain for England, part of the commentary team tonight on the way after this. We'll hand over to Sonia McLaughlin on the full-time whistle tonight, and the game kicks off at 8 o'clock. That is New Zealand against South Africa. Here's Trippier inside his own half. Threads a pass in between the Wolves players. Wilson comes to collect, lays it back to Trippier. He lofts one down the right. Longstaff chases. Dawson's across, hooks it away with his left foot. Traore gets it caught up between his feet. Wilson's at him. Traore wins it back. Clever turn by Ait Nouri. Spin on the ball, the old roulette spin, then knocks it past Lascelles, picks it up the other side, cut back to Hwang, who couldn't control it on the edge of the box. Had he been able to do so, was possibly in a really good shooting position. Joe Linton fouled on the edge of the box. The referee plays advantage over. Here come Wolves again, and that is pretty woeful from Traore. Attempt from 30 yards out, drags it well wide. Goal kick for Newcastle.
That's a fantastic chance for Wolves, it really is. Ait Nouri down this left-hand side. He does wonders. He gets around Kieran Trippier. His footwork is excellent. He gets the ball out of his feet and then he pushes it past Lascelles, goes at pace and he squares it across the box. Falls at Hwang's feet. He just takes his eye off the ball. Just one lapse of concentration. He needed a touch and a strike on goal. That was a real opportunity for Wolves.
He's another one who's been in great goal-scoring form for Wolves so far this season. He's scored in his last 5 home league games for the club. Last player to manage 6 for Wolves in the top flight in terms of home league games in a row, John Richards, back in 1973. Callum Wilson goes charging into a challenge on Craig Dawson, brings him down. That's a free kick for Wolves just outside their own penalty area.
Looks sharp, Callum Wilson, doesn't he? We touched on the Newcastle side. He's the only change that started midweek in the Champions League game. This is a test for Eddie Howe's squad. You know, we know that he's missing a few players, and it's a test for Callum Wilson. Can he keep himself fit? We know that Isak's going to be out for a while. This is Callum Wilson's opportunity. He's got his goals this season so far. You look at his record, 5 Premier League goals, 1 every 66 minutes at the moment, and that's the best of any player that's played more than 90 minutes. So his record is there. It's just his fitness. Can he stay fit?
Yeah, Eddie Howe needs him as well. Big games coming in November for Newcastle, away to Manchester United on Wednesday night in the League Cup, at home to Arsenal next Saturday. Wednesday night's game, commentary will start on Radio 5 Sports Extra, and we'll then move to 5 Live. It's a later kick-off in terms of the League Cup football on Wednesday night. We've got full commentary of Arsenal Newcastle next week in this slot at 5:30. Then Newcastle go to Dortmund and then away to Bournemouth before the next international break. 12 minutes in, it's Wolves 0, Newcastle 0. Wolves have started well here, 3 corners in the game. Newcastle are chasing them at the moment. Totti in the left-back position. Joe Linton tries to intercept. Good strength from Lemina and skill, and then accidentally caught round the back of the head by Bruno Guimaraes. That is going to be a good physical tussle in central midfield. Wolves get the free kick.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see. You touched on the fixtures there, Ali, what Eddie Howe does with the Carabao Cup and how seriously he takes that. Because you spoke quite openly and very well on BBC World Service earlier about the amount of time that it is that Newcastle haven't had a trophy, and what's their realistic opportunities for a trophy. Is the League Cup one of his priorities this year? Do they want to put a pot in the cabinet for the first time in a long time? He's also got the Champions League, he's got the Premier League, he's got a real juggling act to do with a threadbare squad at the moment.
Well, that's right, and you know, wants to go as far as he can in the Champions League this season. Priority will be to qualify for the Champions League next season. Newcastle fans want that first major trophy since the mid-50s. Wolves' last major trophy, much more recently than that, back in 1980, and that was a League Cup. Here is Anthony Gordon, running at speed down the left. Semedo sticks with him, uses his shoulder just to knock him off the ball, and the Wolves man wins the first tussle, the first head-to-head tussle between those two this evening. That'll be a goal kick for Wolves.
He's done well, Semedo, against Gordon. He's kept him quiet, and I think that's probably one of the reasons that Gary O'Neill's opted for that back four today. He sees the threat that Newcastle have got in the wide areas in Almiron and Gordon, and if he's playing a 5, his wing-backs might not necessarily be as deep, and the Newcastle attackers could cause them problems, but with the two there in Semedo and Totti in the full-back positions, they can get tight, they can get close, and they can force the Newcastle forwards back.
Throw in for Wolves. Rain continues to fall heavily here at Molineux. Hwang has come deep to chest that back to Semedo. Semedo floats one forward, it bounces just inside the Wolves half, and then it's very easily controlled by Cher for Newcastle. Trippier, bit of pace on the pass into Guimaraes, looks right and left, goes to his left to find Byrne. Down the line towards Gordon, 10 yards inside the Wolves half, right in front of those Newcastle fans. Gordon is playing down the left in the first half here for Newcastle. And then the ball from Trippier is played out wide towards Gordon again. Gordon just picks up a bit of pace, but he's running back towards his own half. Trippier almost in a central midfield role there between his two centre-backs. Plays it to his left to Cher, gets it back from Cher, takes a few paces forward. Little diagonal pass to his left to Joelinton. Joelinton lays it back here for Newcastle to play from deep. Guimaraes across the halfway line to Lascelles and back to Trippier again. Very patient possession from the away team. Wolves 0, Newcastle 0. Dan Burn, giant figure, making a move down the left, looking for the return ball from Joelinton. Chases hard. Neto's too quick for him. Speeds in front of him. Gets a touch. Could only run it out of play for a Newcastle throw, which Burn will take quickly, and he skids it off the wet pitch to Joelinton. Joelinton back here to Cher. Cher looks for the diagonal left to right. Totti's read it and heads it away into the feet of Ait Nouri. Trippier comes up to make the challenge. Ait Nouri knocks it past him. Cunha trying to beat Longstaff for pace. Not the best first touch on the ball, and Lascelles, cool as you like, just drags it away from Cunha and plays it to Longstaff. Paul Robinson.
They're going to have to work hard tonight, Newcastle, to pull this Wolves team out of position. Already out of possession, you can see the game plan that Gary O'Neill's given them. They're very organised, they're very tight to the Newcastle players. Anthony Gordon already drifting in field, trying to look for space, trying to get hold of the ball. Almiron doing the same as well. Gary O'Neill spoke very, very well on television on Monday night, and you can see the tactical brain that he's got, and he's clearly sent his team out here with a plan tonight.
Gary O'Neill and Eddie Howe were former Portsmouth teammates back in the day. Both of them all in black this evening. Gary O'Neill with the gilet, the sleeveless puffer over the black hoodie, and the tight fitting black tracksuit trousers, black trainers to match as well. Ball is played forward to Longstaff, then Guimaraes straight back to Cher. Cher quickly moves it forward to Gordon. Little shoulder shake and he's away from Lemina. Joelinton gives it back to Gordon on the left, makes a dart into the penalty area, tries to get it back onto the right foot, and Semedo's in to clear hurriedly for Wolves and out for a throw into Newcastle.
Really good by Anthony Gordon. He's a player that's in form at the moment. You can see he's enjoying his football up in Newcastle. He got the ball, his first thought was forward, get into the box. He knows the defenders can't touch him.
Newcastle have taken their throw. Wolves 0, Newcastle 0. 16 minutes gone in the first half. Newcastle going into the weekend with the top scorers in the Premier League so far this season with 24 goals. I was just trying to have a look at the Premier League table there to check whether Arsenal have gone past them. I'm not sure that they have. Arsenal have beaten Sheffield United 5-0 today with the Nketiah hat-trick.
Yeah, only 5. Newcastle got 8, didn't they? That's why they're top scorers.
Exactly. Ball is back with Jose Sarr. At the moment this one is 0-0. There's Max Kilman across to Semedo. Semedo's closed down by Joelinton and Gordon, and Semedo's got to hurry here to keep the ball in. Down by the dead ball line. Clearance blocked by Joelinton and goes out for a throw to Wolves. Yeah, Newcastle fans are close to that and felt it should have gone their way, but Anthony Taylor says no, that is a throw into Wolves in their right back position. 23 goals for Arsenal, 24 goals for Newcastle. So Newcastle still ahead on that front, but yet to score this evening. But in terms of recent Premier League form, they've had some good wins and some big wins. Paul mentions the 8-0 win against Sheffield United, of course 4-0 against Crystal Palace last weekend. Dan Burns' throw into Joelinton. Joelinton can't hold on to it for Newcastle. Boubacar Traore making only a second Premier League start of the season for Wolves. So it's João Gomez who's dropped to the bench in terms of central midfielders with the return of Mario Lemina this evening. It's Lemina and Traore as the midfield pairing. Wolves work it out from the back. Lofted pass onto the chest of Semedo, always looking for Neto, and that is really good covering from Fabian Cher. Comes sliding across to make the tackle, plays the ball to Guimaraes across to Longstaff, and back it comes to Nick Pope.
Looks a threat, does Neto, over the top. Wolves quite happy to let Newcastle have possession, sacrifice possession.
Ooh, Newcastle have given it away. Chance here for Hwang, edge of the box, lays it back to Cunha, side foots one straight at Pope. It's an easy save.
Oh, he should do so much better. A striker, you got to put your laces through that. It falls to Cunha. Newcastle sloppy with possession. Trippier loses possession. He almost passes it straight to Cunha on the edge of the box. Comes back to him. Side foot from the edge of the box straight at Nick Pope. He's got to put his laces through it. He's got to hit it harder into the corners.
You were talking, Paul, about the spectators who aren't undercover this evening. There's a little sort of corner away to our right-hand side which doesn't benefit from either roof. So the roof on our stand, the Billy Wright stand, or the Sir Jack Hayward away to our right. But it looks like ponchos provided.
It certainly does. It looks like they've been to Alton Towers and got some ponchos for those of you who know Molineux, and it's the Graham Hughes stand in the corner. But I tell you, if that wind gets up, we're getting wet as well.
Yeah, we could be. Yeah, they're trying to look cheerful, like you do, as you say, at Alton Towers, sitting on those roller coasters in the pouring rain. 19 minutes gone. First half, 5 Live and BBC Sounds, Rugby Union World Cup final, full commentary on the way tonight. Kick-off at 8 o'clock, live in the Stade de France. This at the moment, though, is Wolves 0, Newcastle 0. Couple of commentaries for you from the Premier League tomorrow. Just note the kick-off times actually tomorrow. Slight change. We've got West Ham in Everton, West Ham against Everton in full. That's a 1 o'clock kick-off. 3 games kicking off at 2. Aston Villa, Luton, Brighton, Fulham, Liverpool against Nottingham Forest. Commentary on each of those games available via the BBC Sport website and app. And then it's the Manchester Derby tomorrow. John Murray and Chris Waddle will bring you commentary of that one from 3:30 kick-off at Old Trafford. Manchester United against Manchester City.
Is it tonight the clocks go? Is it confusing tonight? Yeah, so these kick-off times,
that's a really good point.
Make sure you set your alarm for the right time tomorrow.
God, I'm glad you reminded me, because I'm doing West Ham Everton. I could easily have stuffed that up. Long ball over the top from Cher, bounces once into the arms of Jose Sarr. He rolls it out to Semedo. Semedo's made ground up to the halfway line. There's Lamina, former Southampton man, Fulham man, Juventus man as well, now at Wolves. Dawson, 13th season of Premier League football for him. That was a nice pass into the feet of Neto, and Neto couldn't control it. That works out well for Newcastle, though. Here they come on the counter. Joe Linton lays it off to Gordon. Gordon has a runner on the outside, curls across it. Sarr stretches, he's missed it. Callum Wilson somehow missed it, then hooks it into the back of the net, and Callum Wilson celebrates the goal. And Wolves are looking to see if there was a foul on their goalkeeper Jose Sarr, as he came over the top of a couple of bodies to try and claim it. The video assistant referee will have a look, but for now Callum Wilson has given Newcastle the lead.
And I think the goal will stand, Ali. I think it's his own player. I think it's Craig Dawson that the goalkeeper's trying to get across the top of. The cross comes in, the goalkeeper makes the right decision. He comes for the ball, but in this wet weather it slips between his fingers as he's clambering over the top of what looked like a number of bodies in the box. But I think it's his own player. I think it's Craig Dawson that he's going over the top of. Wolves players are not complaining too much, neither's the goalkeeper. Newcastle players over at the far side celebrating, and I think they're celebrating the goal.
Yeah, you're right, Paul. It does look like he collides with his own defender. Callum Wilson has 2 efforts from close range. The first is blocked, and the second actually is a really clever acrobatic finish. So Jose Sarr jumps into Boubacar Traoré and Sean Longstaff, the pair of them. The ball then falls to Callum Wilson, who side foots the first attempt on goal. That's blocked. The goal does stand here at Molineux. VAR are happy with that, and Newcastle lead by a 1-0. Ball spins up, Wilson heads it up to himself, and it's not quite a bicycle kick, but it's an acrobatic volley from close range to stick it into the back of the net for his 6th goal of the season.
I was a fully paid up member of the Goalkeepers Union, but now I've come this side of the fence. I can be honest, he's dropped that one, Ali, you know. He's come out to collect the cross, he's bumped into 2 players, but the 2 players were underneath him and neither were looking at the goalkeeper. Both had eyes on the ball. He's made contact with his own player, and he's just slightly taken his eye off the ball, and in this wet weather you can't do that. It slipped through his gloves, and Callum Wilson's pounced once again.
44th Newcastle goal in the league for Callum Wilson in terms of Premier League goals, so that takes him past a couple. Paul, on the list, he was level with...
It takes him past a couple on the Newcastle list. He goes third ahead of Andrew Cole and Shola Amiobi.
There we go. And now 44, just 2 behind Peter Beardsley, but he's still 104 behind, you know who, Alan Shearer, who was part of the Sports Report coverage this evening after today's Premier League football. We had Bukayo Saka on live as well, speaking to Rob Nothman. If you missed any of that, available for you in the Football Daily podcast via the BBC Sounds app. So Wolves 0, Newcastle 1, Callum Wilson with the goal, and we're just past the halfway point in the first half here, with the rain continuing to tumble down from the dark skies above us. Fabian Schär on the ball for Newcastle, inside his own half. Easy pass for him, right across the half to Trippier on the right. Trippier down the line. Wilson comes short, controls it, tries to hold off Craig Dawson. Wilson's on the floor, wins the free kick.
Done well, Callum Wilson. not much support around him, held the ball up for his team and won a free kick. Be interesting to see what Gary O'Neill's Wolves do now. They had a game plan to sit back, invite Newcastle onto them, and they kind of hit them on the break a little bit, especially at home. But now they've got to go after the game, they've got to chase the game. Will they keep it the same? Will they keep the formation the same? I think they will for a while. It will assess what happens in this game, but the longer the game goes, the better Newcastle are becoming.
Wolves 0, Newcastle 1. Former England goalkeeper Paul Robinson with us on 5 Live and BBC Sounds this evening. Paul's former Tottenham team, top of the Premier League after the 2-1 win at Crystal Palace last night. Your former Leeds team with a big win today as well, Paul, beat Huddersfield by 4-1.
Yeah, they've got a very good squad in that Championship. They're looking strong at the moment.
Here's Hwang, the Wolves. Semedo moving at pace, collects the pass, lays it off to the right. Cross comes in from the right, headed away to the edge of the penalty area. Wolves players go chasing, but Trippier is there first. Bobbles a pass forward to Almiron, back to Trippier. Strokes his pass into the Newcastle midfield. No one's there. Lemina intercepts. Traore. And now out wide to Ait-Nouri. There's Lemina again. Traore turns, has space inside the Newcastle half, plays it across to a central position, and Max Kilman is there to find Neto wide on the right hand side. In Neto and Gordon, in terms of sort of wide players in the Premier League this season, we're watching two of the very best in terms of the way the two have started their campaigns. Newcastle back into their defensive shape, have forced Wolves back to the halfway line. Totti trying to take it past Almiron, lays it off to Lemina on the halfway line. He's got Semedo in a lot of space wide on the right, uses him. Neto's now suddenly made it over to our side of the field, so he's playing wide left. Ait-Nouri sort of in the inside left channel, Hwang and Cunha in the middle as well, so that's something for Newcastle to think about.
They're interchanging well, Wolves, when they're in possession. Out of possession, they're pretty structured, they're pretty rigid, and they drop into shape very quickly. But when they're in possession, the manager's allowing them to interchange, and it's causing Newcastle a couple of problems. They've had steady possession now for a while, Wolves, without really going anywhere.
Diagonal ball from Traore, looking for the run of Semedo. Dan Burn struggling to deal with Semedo. Flags up. Newcastle get the free kick. Dan Burn was under pressure. Semedo had a little tug and a pull at him, trying to win that ball, and Newcastle get the decision.
Does well, does Dan Burn. It's a long ball, crossfield ball over his head, and Semedo on the outside. Burn goes for it, touches, tries to put a first touch in, it doesn't get there. Semedo nicks it round him, but Dan Burn gets his body between him and the ball, wins the free kick for his side.
Wolves 0, Newcastle 1. 6 of the 8 Premier League games between these two clubs at Molineux have finished 1-1, so that's certainly still a possibility this evening. Hwang chases a ball down the left, great first touch, working it onto his right foot, angles tight, back it comes to Cunha, shots deflected, all the pace is out of it, and Nick Pope grabs it on the goal line.
Once again, Hwang finds himself in a goal-scoring position. They're just lacking quality in that final third of the field, the Wolves. All the build-ups there, they get themselves in the positions, but Hwang once again, he just makes the wrong decision.
Newcastle on the attack quickly. Gordon stopped by a crunching challenge from Semedo. Clean challenge. Cunha skips away from Longstaff. He's still going, the Brazilian. Trippier in his way now, past Trippier into the penalty area, cross to the far post, and it beats the far post, it beats everyone. Neto closing in, trying to get on the end of it, but it's gone behind, and in fact Nick Pope got a touch on that. It's a corner for Wolves.
I think he made the save. Cunha there showed pace that I don't think Kieran Trippier realised that he had. Trippier got out to him, he's pushed the ball past him, got into the box, and he's on a decent angle, 12-13 yards out, fires it bottom left-hand corner. At first glance you'd think it's just gone wide, but Nick Pope's held his position and he's made a brilliant save. What makes it even better is he's held his position as a goalkeeper. He's not gone too close to the ball.
Brilliant turn from Hwang from the corner, floated cross into the near post, and Pope's read that one as well.
Really good save that was, Ali, really good save. Fingertips in the bottom left-hand corner. If he's a yard or two further out of his goal, that's past him before he knows. He's held his position a couple of yards off his line, which has enabled him to get his full body across. Fantastic save, bottom left-hand corner.
That's why it's so good, Paul, when we got the goalkeepers in the commentary position, because, you know, I think that's a good save. I can say good save. You've actually been there, you know what you're talking about.
Maybe not save as good as that.
Byrne plays the ball back to Cher. Coming up to half an hour played in the first half. Wolves 0, Newcastle 1. Newcastle coming into the game off the back of that Champions League defeat at home to Borussia Dortmund on Wednesday night, missing the likes of Sven Botman, Alexander Isak, Harvey Barnes. Sandro Tonali has now started his 10-month ban. Jacob Murphy's missing, Elliot Anderson is missing as well, but here they are and leading. Trippier just inside the Wolves half, wide on the right. Longstaff's first time ball. Almiron's in loads of space there. 30 yards out central position. Joelinton just puts too much on the pass, but Gordon will get there first. He's just got to run out to the left-hand touchline, then chips a little ball in field, edge of the box. Well controlled by Guimaraes onto his right foot. Still Guimaraes inside the box, lays it back, comes here for Longstaff, drives it. Longstaff gets the rebound back, hits another shot, and that is blocked on the edge of the box, and Wolves survive.
Putting the bodies on the line there, Wolves, and having to Newcastle finding that space just in between the midfield three and the back four. Gordon, Longstaff, there's holes in there. Joelinton finds the ball, turns. They get 2 shots off Longstaff. His first one's blocked, second one he should do better with, but once again another really good opportunity for Newcastle.
Throw in for Wolves on the right inside their own half. Cunha's done well again with the ball at his feet, beats 2 players, then looks for Hwang. Guimaraes reads the pass. Hwang wasn't quite sure when it was going to come. Guimaraes slides in and intercepts. Bit of frustration you could hear from the Wolves fans there as the move broke down. Here's Almiron. Almiron plays back to Trippier. No need for Newcastle to rush. They've got the lead in the game. Callum Wilson with the goal.
It's a good game as well, isn't it? It's nice to see 2 teams that are not overplaying in the wrong areas. There's 2 teams that are not afraid to put it into areas where they'll allow players to be creative, allow players to play. Far too often we see teams overplaying in the wrong areas, making mistakes and costing themselves goals. We've got 2 teams here who play football in the right areas.
Guimaraes in the centre circle, lays it off to Almiron. Almiron across to Trippier, just inside the Wolves half. Uses Almiron again, gets away from Lemina. And Traore tries to play in Callum Wilson. Wilson was slightly on his heels and the pass runs through to Jose Sarr. Sarr rolls it out to Totti. Short pass from him to Lemina. Stocky central midfielder. Stands just outside the Wolves penalty area. Looking for options here. Turns to his left and finds Totti again. Totti's got Ait-Nouri hugging the touchline. Still inside the Wolves half. Cross here to Dawson. Dawson's going to ping the diagonal. Semedo takes his first touch, brings it in field. Little 1-2 with Neto. Semedo couldn't control the return pass, and so Newcastle have a chance to play out. Traore very nearly intercepts it, and then Newcastle win a free kick. Guimaraes is just pulled back just short of the halfway line, and Anthony Taylor blows the whistle and says yes, that is a foul.
That's a game plan that Wolves are looking to implement. In possession, Semedo is given the licence to push on. He doubles up with Neto on that right hand side and pushes on against Shah and Dan Burn, and they're trying to exploit the space. They've a little interaction, ball's played out to the left hand side, it's cut back into the centre half, Dawson, and that big diagonal is something that they've tried on 2 or 3 occasions this first half.
Newcastle in green this evening, defending the goal away to our left. Rain continues to sweep across the pitch here at Molineux. Ball is with Fabian Schär. He receives it from Byrne inside his own half. Pass out wide to Trippier, laid off to Lascelles. Poor pass forward from Lascelles, intercepted by Ait-Nouri. Lascelles goes rushing in to try and win it back, fouls Ait-Nouri. Free kick for Wolves. Ironic cheers and a very precise pass from Gary O'Neill. It was like he was back in the game there. He'd playing it to Ait-Nouri.
He tiptoed back into his box like a naughty schoolboy. He wasn't allowed out, wasn't he? He got on the pitch and realised where he was.
Lemina's ball to the right finds Semedo. Neto's tucked infield here. Neto with 6 assists so far for Wolves this season. Kieran Trippier with 6 for Newcastle. That's the most of any players in the Premier League. Both playing wide right for their teams. Trippier obviously from the full-back position, but Neto's the man they are always looking for. Here it goes out wide to him now, but he's deep here. Difficult for him to affect the game from there. So he plays it back into central midfield, just inside the Newcastle half. Wolves in the old gold. Shirts, black numbers on their backs. Ait-Nouri wide on the left. Down the line it goes. Cunha lets it run past him. Trippier chases. Here's Cunha up against Trippier, down by the byline on the left. Scoops it, gets the ball back from the block from Longstaff. Looks for Lemina on the edge of the penalty area. Joelinton intercepts, takes his time to find Longstaff. Ait-Nouri tries to hook a right leg around Longstaff to win the ball, gets a couple of touches on it, and it goes out for a Newcastle throw in the right back position.
Cunha again finds himself in such a good position, deep inside that Newcastle box, but making the wrong choices again. 3 or 4 occasions in this first half, Neto, Cunha, Hwang, they found themselves in really good positions in the final third. They've either made the wrong decision or the execution of the pass has been wrong, and it's just a little bit of quality in the final third that have cost Wolves so far.
Definite tug on the shirt from Totti there, trying to stop Almiron in his tracks, couldn't do so. Almiron then eventually runs into the sizable figure of Mario Lemina, who gets it back to Jose Sarr, clears first time. Burn sticks out a leg and then hooks it forward. Bouncing ball chested down by Kilman. Kilman out to Semedo, wide it goes to Neto, 5 or 6 yards into the Wolves half, and back it's played again to Lemina, across to Traore back to Dawson switching the angle of attack, goes to his right again to find Kilman at walking pace inside his own half, back to Dawson goes for the longer ball, the diagonal onto the chest of Neto, unmarked, brings that ball down. Anthony Gordon gets back to try and get in his way. Neto brings it infield, rolls his pass to Traore wide on the left to Ait-Nouri. Eddie Howe down on one knee in the technical area, scribbling down some notes, I'd imagine in pencil rather than ink in this rain. Here's Neto inside the box, left-footed shot palmed over the bar by Nick Pope. Real sting in the strike from Neto. It's behind for a Wolves corner.
It's that long diag again. Once again, Semedo in midfield. Pings the ball out to the right-hand side, ends up with Neto, cuts inside the box onto his left foot, fires a shot at Nick Pope, a save that you'd expect him to make, straight at the goalkeeper. Nothing he can do other than tip it over the bar, but it's becoming predictable with Wolves. Open the body up, long diag to his right-hand side with Semedo, with Neto, but it's working for them. Newcastle don't have an answer.
That's the voice of Paul Robinson. Wolves have a corner here at Molineux. They're trailing 1-0. Deeper one from Neto to the far post, headed in! Equaliser for Wolves, scored by Mario Lemina. His first goal for the club, unmarked at the back post. Neto's corner finds him. Powerful header beyond Nick Pope. It's Wolves 1, Newcastle 1.
Well, it's just a straightforward corner, out-swinging corner. Newcastle defence and Nick Pope getting all kinds of mess. Lemina at the far post, waist height, heads the ball in. It's an out-swinging corner from Ait-Nouri, I think, from this side. The Newcastle defence getting a real muddle. The goalkeeper comes, the goalkeeper stops. He ends up bumping into his own players, decides not to come, goes back onto his goal line. Lemina at the far post, stoops low. Nobody on the far post for Newcastle. Simple task. Wolves are back in it.
Good stooping header from Mario Lemina. Fist pump from Gary O'Neill. Wolves 1, Newcastle 1. Match of the day tonight, BBC 1 at 20 past 10. It'll have the goals for you from last night's encounter between Crystal Palace and Tottenham. Arsenal 5, Sheffield United 0 today. 2 goals in this game already. The lunchtime win for Brentford away at Chelsea by 2-0. And Bournemouth beating Burnley by 2-1. That has moved Bournemouth out of the bottom 3 in the Premier League table this evening. They are 1 point above Luton, Burnley and Sheffield United, the bottom 3. Sheffield United, after their thumping at the Emirates Stadium, on 1 point with a goal difference of -22. Gordon nearly getting away down the inside left channel for Newcastle. Danger read by Craig Dawson. He got there in time, slides in and clears it out for the Newcastle throw. 8 minutes remaining in the first half. Been a good game, and a goal for each team. Wolves 1, Newcastle 1. Guimaraes felt he was fouled by Hwang. Anthony Taylor said it was a free kick. Guimaraes sort of tried to keep playing. The ball hadn't stopped rolling, so we've got to do it by the book, and we're going to come back for the free kick to be taken properly.
I don't like it when players do that. They almost referee the game themselves. Guimaraes there, he just stopped and looked at the referee and almost just said, he stopped the game himself and said, give me a free kick, and the referee duly obliged.
I saw Saka do that last weekend for Arsenal against Chelsea, and Pat Nevin was telling me the reason he'd done it was basically to say to the referee, right, the next time I get challenged like that by Cucurella, I want a yellow card. Sure enough, next time he did it, yellow card.
Players are clever, and they do have an influence on the referee on the field at times.
Wolves 1, Newcastle 1. Ball played out to the left by Dan Burn. Anthony Gordon just inside the Wolves half. Back to Burn again. Jeers and whistles you can hear ringing around Molineux from the home fans. I'm presuming for Anthony. Who's that for, Paul? What's that all about? Is that just decisions going against him? It's certainly not against their team, who are now back in the game, or whether they're picking on a particular Newcastle player. The ball towards Wilson. He's brought that down brilliantly on the right. Looking for Longstaff. Sliding challenge from Ait-Nouri. Ball still runs to Longstaff, who picks himself up, plays it back to Trippier. Boos go up a notch when Trippier gets it. They continue though with Lascelles on the ball. Lascelles cross in from the right, trying to do a Trippier, headed away by Kilman, out for a throw into Newcastle, almost down by the corner flag on the right.
Notice Newcastle in possession there, seen Kieran Trippier just taking up that hybrid role in midfield, which we've seen so many full-backs do this season. Eddie Howe just shouted some words of advice onto the pitch, onto his players. In the last 5 minutes or so, they've gone with a back three and Trippier more in that inverted full-back role.
6 minutes remaining in the first half. Wolves 1, Newcastle 1. Almiron, right-hand corner of the Wolves penalty area. Trippier's pass intercepted by Traore. Hwang, his pass now cut out by Joe Linton, so Newcastle with a chance to get back on the front foot inside the Wolves half. Guimaraes, right in the middle of that Wolves half, stabs one forward to Gordon, gives it straight back to the Brazilian. Guimaraes then plays it out to the left to Byrne, receives it back again. Green-shirted players of Newcastle start to make the runs into the box, but Guimaraes goes low across the Wolves half to Almiron. Fabian Schär thinking about a pile driver. Good scoop pass to Longstaff, brought it down, wouldn't quite fall for him to hit the shot, eventually does so. Dawson blocks, corner for Newcastle.
What a great ball that was by Fabian Schär. Everybody stood off, let the big centre half have the ball, ghosts his way into the Wolves half, gets about 25 yards out, and he just lifts the most delicate of balls to Longstaff in the box. First touch wasn't great, got the shot off, but he's won his team a corner.
Wolves 1, Newcastle 1. 5 minutes remaining in the first half. Mark Chapman back with you at half-time. Still building up towards the Rugby Union World Cup final tonight. Full commentary here on 5 Live from 8 o'clock. We'll be handing over to Sonny McLaughlin and the team when the full-time whistle blows here. Trippier delays the taking of the corner. That further enrages the Wolves fans behind the goal away to our right. Then he delivers the outswinger, beats everyone. Longstaff gives chase, gets there first, plays it back to Gordon, takes a chance but beats Neto. Gets past Aït-Nouri as well, plays it wide to the left. Joe Linton steps in, lays it off to Guimaraes. Guimaraes holds off Cunha, holds off Traore as well, running from left to right, tees himself up with the shot. That's blocked by Semedo, and it goes high and behind for another corner to Newcastle.
Well, Gary O'Neill's going mad at his defence here down below. Bruno Guimaraes there picks the ball up on the far side of the field, goes past 2, 3, 4 Wolves defenders, finds himself just inside the box and gets a shot off. Finally they get it blocked, but yet again it's another corner for Newcastle. Bruno Guimaraes does extremely well.
Kieran Trippier gets ready to take again, right under the nose of the assistant referee. The ball is just touching the very outside of the quadrant. 'Twas ever thus. Trippier holds a left arm in the air, 4 paces to the ball, another away swinger, drops down in the Wolves box. Hwang taking no chances, smashes it clear with his right foot. Neto gives chase, Pope controls it on his thigh inside his own half, slightly skews his pass to the right, but no danger for Newcastle. Longstaff to Trippier, back to Longstaff, weak pass from him intercepted by the Wolves goal scorer Mario Lemina, and then to break play up, Dan Byrne over on the right wing just goes charging into the back of Aït-Nouri, rather clumsily knocks him to the floor, and Newcastle quite happy to concede the free kick and get back into their defensive shape.
I think he realised how far out of position he was there, Dan Byrne. He needed a breather to get back, didn't he?
Ball goes wide to Semedo. Semedo with a couple of tricks, then comes up against Joe Linton, lays it off. Here's Traore. Traore to Totti. First time ball, just opens his body up. Wide it goes to Aït-Nouri, back into the midfield. Traore steps away from the challenge of Guimaraes. Pass is cut out by Joe Linton, but there was a foul by Guimaraes. Referee Anthony Taylor was trying to play the advantage. He comes back for the Wolves free kick. They've taken it quickly. 1-1, Aït-Nouri. Up towards Cunha. Cunha's layoff to Totti. Then Aït-Nouri again. Back to Totti. Totti, meaty pass to Craig Dawson, nearly loses it under pressure from Wilson. Wilson's tripped him, and that'll be a free kick for Wolves.
Yeah, got the ball caught under his feet there, Craig Dawson. An example of trying to play out. Newcastle were pressing high with Almiron, Callum Wilson, and Gordon had cut off his out ball out the back. His out ball was to the right hand side to Semedo, but Gordon was there filling the space, and Craig Dawson got himself tangled up, and luckily for him he won himself a free kick.
2 minutes remaining in the first half, plus a bit of added time. 5 live at Molineux. If you're on the move and you want the football commentaries, you want the 5 Live output, then download the BBC Sounds app and take us with you wherever you go. All the football podcasts there for you as well. The Football Daily podcast, the Monday Night Club podcast, that'll be back of course this Monday evening with Mark Chapman and the team. Our Football League podcast 72 plus, Euro Leagues as well. Anthony Gordon with pace down the left. Kilman sticks with him, gets a toe in. That'll be another corner for Newcastle.
Taught my dad how to download the BBC Sounds app the other day. That's how easy it is. That's how remarkably easy it is.
Very good. And is he listening to you in particular, do you think, or?
I suspect the Rugby World Cup final tonight.
Oh, really? Yeah. Is he a rugby fan, is he?
Very much so.
Okay.
What a fantastic game that's going to be.
It will be,
following us, isn't it?
Now then, yeah, so that's an 8 o'clock kickoff, New Zealand, South Africa. The last team to win the World Cup that wasn't New Zealand or South Africa was actually England back in 2003. That's what that rivalry at that level of the game is all about. Last minute of the first half here. Wolves 1, Newcastle 1. Corner from the left this time. Right boot of Trippier, whipped into the near post, and Semedo sort of goes down on his knees, puts his chest in the way and blocks it behind for another corner. Martin Johnson, by the way, part of the Five Live team this evening. You'll hear from Bobby Skinstad, former South African international, Andrew Mertens, former All Black, Matt Dawson as ever, and Chris Jones, our rugby union correspondent, with the commentary. Trippier low corner into the near post. Newcastle trying to work it to Almiron on the edge of the box. Hwang was looking to clear. Caught a Newcastle player as he did so, and it's a penalty. It was inside the penalty area. Hwang took a first touch to tee himself up for the clearance. Then a Newcastle player came in to make the challenge, and as Hwang swung his boot to clear the ball, he caught Fabian Schär, and Anthony Taylor, no hesitation, Paul, says that's a penalty.
I think this is one where the referees had to go by the rule book. Hwang has no idea where Schär is. He's just coming across from the right hand side. He's even stopped himself from kicking through the ball. I think this will be reviewed because Hwang's gone to clear the ball just as Schär's come across him. He seems as though he's stopped the follow through. I'm not sure whether he's caught him or not. The referee's given it on the field, but VAR will definitely look at this.
Fabian Schär's reaction to the contact, which I think is relatively minor, is quite dramatic and made me think he'd absolutely whacked him and it should be a penalty. That's why this is being checked. The ball is on the spot.
I'm not sure there's contact at all, you know.
Right.
Unless it's with his back foot that he just trips him. There's certainly no malice, there's no intent. It's an accidental trip, if anything.
Bruno Guimaraes is standing over the ball on the penalty spot, but I think that's the classic. Callum Wilson's away to the right, so Guimaraes is taking the heat from the Wolves players who are trying to put him off. I don't think he's going to take it. You're right, you know. I think Hwang touches the ball, stops his right foot, and then Schär...
What Schär's right foot here, he does it himself. He almost puts his foot down himself. It's a decision here where there is a slightest of contact between Hwang and Schär. It's the back foot. If this is given, it's for the slightest of touches.
Anthony Taylor, I think, is going to have to come over to the screen here to check his initial decision. I can see why in real time he would have thought that was a penalty. They are having so many looks at the replay here trying to be absolutely sure. You can't tell me though, Paul. I mean, there might be very minimal contact there, but that's not enough to take Schär down like that.
I think that Newcastle will be given this penalty because there is not enough to see on VAR that would suggest that the referee on the field would be overruled. But we've had that many inconsistent and inconclusive VARs. They can't afford to get this wrong. But
what exactly, Paul, what they're doing here, and people will complain about the amount of time it's taking, but because of the mistake in the Tottenham-Liverpool game, because that was done quickly, they are going to take as much time as they need to get this absolutely spot on. Now, I think at the moment, just judging by Anthony Taylor's face, he is receiving instructions in his earphone. He's trying to keep the players away from him. And we are still waiting for a decision.
And we had one in the Bournemouth-Burnley game today that you'll see on Match of the Day tonight. Jay Rodriguez thought he'd equalised for Burnley late on, but then there was a 5-6 minute VAR delay, and we're getting that here. They're so under pressure to get these decisions right.
Rain keeps pouring down. You're absolutely right, Paul. The penalty stands. So Hwang Hee-chan made very slight contact with Fabian Schär. To the naked eye, it looked like he'd really caught him. Watching on the replay again and again and again, he tried to stop his right foot in the clearance. Schär went down very dramatically, but the video assistant referee Jared Gillett has decided there is enough in that, in the laws of the game, that the penalty should stand.
Well, this is one, when you watch Match of the Day tonight, make your own decision, because you have to judge the amount of contact, and I honestly think it's because it was given on the field is the reason that it wasn't overturned.
Yeah, had it not been given, they wouldn't have gone back to it and overturned. I know what you're saying. Yeah. Right, so Bruno Guimaraes, of course, not taking the penalty. Callum Wilson will do so, and if he scores it, he gets within one goal of Peter Beardsley's total of Premier League goals for Newcastle United. Referee Anthony Taylor comes to have a word with Jose Sarr. It's taken a long time to get to this point. It's Wolves 1, Newcastle 1. Already played 3 minutes of added time at the end of the first half. Callum Wilson steps back from the ball, jogs on the spot and strokes it. Oh, it's nearly saved by Sarr. Sarr gets a big hand to that and it squirts off his left arm, goes back into the back of the net. Callum Wilson has his second goal of the night. It's Wolves 1, Newcastle 2, but he got a little bit lucky with that one.
He's really unlucky, Jose Sarr, in goal. He dives to his right. Callum Wilson, he does that penalty that strikers do. They fake to go down one side and they just lift it into the middle of the goal. Just try and lift it over the goalkeeper's legs. Sarr's left his left arm there. It's hit his left arm as he's diving away and gone into the opposite corner. He's really unlucky, the Wolves goalkeeper.
Just going to see it again on the monitors. Yeah, perfectly described by Paul Robinson. Wilson with the right instep, good pace on it, hits Sarr's hand onto his left boot, trickles over the goal line into the back of the net. Wolves 1, Newcastle 2. Wolves will certainly have complaints about the penalty decision, and Jose Sarr can feel very unfortunate not to have saved it. Callum Wilson's 7th goal of what is proving to be a very successful season for him once again. And Callum Wilson now has 18 goals in his last 21 Premier League appearances. When he plays, he scores.
England form. You look what Ollie Watkins is doing, Aston Villa. He's now putting himself right back in the frame. He went to Newcastle, he took that number 9 shirt, which does carry a weight of expectation. He wanted that. He's going to get a run of games in the team now. He's scoring the goals, so he's going to stake a claim.
Pedro Neto's gone down, 30 yards out in a central position. Anthony Taylor gives Wolves the free kick. It's probably further than that, actually. It's probably 35 to 40 yards out, so too far out for a long-range strike on goal. Wolves 1, Newcastle 2. Plenty to talk about from the first half here. Newcastle with the win, if they get it tonight, will move above Aston Villa on goal difference, go a point behind Liverpool, 2 points behind Manchester City, both of whom play tomorrow. Neto's free kick scooped in the box, bounces once into the arms of Nick Pope. Nick Pope, all in light blue, comes jogging out to the edge of his box, but Newcastle will be in no rush. Quite happy to take this through to half-time, leading as they are by 2-1. Pope throws the ball out to himself. Sliding attempt from Hwang to block the clearance. Good flick on from Almiron. Dawson heads it away. Joelinton's there first. Powerful run from Joelinton. Still going. Up to the edge of the box. Shoots and saved by Jose Sarr. Not enough power in the strike to really test Sarr from the edge of the box.
Well, there's acres of space between the Wolves midfield and the defence. Dawson wins the header there and Joelinton spots it, nips onto the ball, and with 2 touches he's into the box. We always talk about these pockets and these spaces in between the lines, but the lines between the Wolves back 4 and the midfield today are where Newcastle have caused them all the problems.
51 minutes played in this first half so far. Cunha will chase a long ball forward. Nick Pope's missed the clearance. Cunha onto it, angles tight, and Newcastle have enough men back there to get it away and knock it behind for a corner. They don't even feel that should be a corner. They're claiming handball by Cunha.
Yeah, Wolves are looking for a handball. They're all surrounding referee Anthony Taylor. They think there's a handball from one of the centre halves. Nick Pope comes out, ends up in no man's land, and he stops because the pitch is so zippy. He thinks that the ball's coming onto him.
Oh, did it touch his hand? It's Guimaraes who leaps in on the edge of the penalty area.
Cunha gets there just before him, doesn't he? Goes to lift the ball over him.
Checking for the handball. Now, if that's hit his arm, it's brushed his fingers. Wolves will say the contact at the other end for the Newcastle penalty was minimal. Guimaraes is running. His left arm is sort of bent at the elbow. No, they've decided no penalty.
You're describing it brilliantly. I was just about to say, if that's given, that's extremely harsh. I don't think that's a penalty. As you can see, that the locals don't think that they agree with the referee after the decision that they've just been on the end of, and he's not going to get a very warm reception now.
Right, have a listen to the Wolves fans then on the half-time whistle, feeling very aggrieved that a penalty was given against Hwang, stuck into the back of the net by Callum Wilson for his second goal in the game, and then feeling even more aggrieved, Paul Robinson, they didn't get. I don't think that should have been a handball from Bruno Guimaraes. Been a good first half here.
It's been a great first half. 2 teams looking to win the football match, going forward, pressing high, good in possession. 2 teams that are looking to score goals. Wolves will feel aggrieved because of the way that the penalty was given against them and not given to them. As you can hear now, the referee is nearing the edge of the pitch, just about to go down the tunnel.
Wolves 1, Newcastle 2, rain still falling at Molineux. Mark. Yes, I think we've had enough of the lengthy VAR checks for today. Match the day tonight, BBC One at 10:20. You'll find out what we're talking about. The Wolves fans, Paul Robinson, still in very good voice. Anthony Taylor got roundly booed when he came out onto the pitch. Newcastle players roundly booed as well when they came out onto the pitch. Hopefully, second half will be as good as the first.
Yeah, it was a decent game, really good game. 2 teams looking to win it, and a really good atmosphere. Wolves, probably rightly so, feel hard done to with the penalty decision. It was a tough one. and they went down the other end, and to most of the fans' naked eye, they thought they should have had a penalty for handball. It clearly wasn't, but the fans in the stadium haven't got the monitors in front of us like we have.
Back underway then in the second half. Wolves, the home team, trailing Newcastle 2-1 in the old gold shirts with black trim, black shorts and the old gold socks. And Newcastle change kit this evening, bright green shirts, white shorts and green socks. And Wolves already spy an attacking opportunity down the right. Semedo's made good ground to the edge of the box, not the best cross. Lascelles side foots a volleyed clearance away. Guimaraes strokes the pass out to Almiron. Back it comes to Trippier, level with the edge of his own penalty area, drills the ball downfield. Lovely measured pass actually for Almiron to chase, but Craig Dawson saw it coming a long way off, plays it back to his goalkeeper Jose Sá. It's a lovely pass back to Dawson to give him plenty of time to take control of the situation. Neither manager's made a change at half-time. I'll remind you the two teams in just a second. And as Mark was just saying, and Sonia was giving us the big build-up, Rugby Union World Cup final on the way. 8 o'clock kick-off tonight, South Africa against New Zealand in the Stade de France. Neto, who actually got his 7th assist of the season, of course, for Wolves' goal in the first half, because it was Lemina's header from his corner, wide to Semedo. That's an easy clearance for Dan Burn, sticks his right foot through it, and the ball will eventually just bounce out just for a throw into Wolves on the right. They've got Jose Sá in goal, Semedo at right back, Totti Gomez at left back, Kilman and Dawson the two centre backs, Neto wide right, Ait-Nouri on the left, Boubacar Traoré alongside Mario Lemina in central midfield, and then Mateus Cunha and Hwang Hee-chan as a front two. Semedo moving forward for Wolves again, lays it off to Neto, who's got the sort of matching old gold undershirt, the skin underneath the short sleeve Wolves shirt, gets the ball at his feet and starts heading at pace towards the Newcastle area, tricks it onto his left foot. Dan Burn trying to hold him off. Neto strong enough to hold Burn off, but not only that, wins a free kick in a really good position for Wolves, 22 yards out, say, right in the middle of the pitch.
Does really well, Neto, looks really sharp, makes inroads down this right hand side, cuts in field, all of a sudden starts causing Newcastle defenders problems, and Sharon Burn can't touch him, all left footed, cuts inside the pitch. He's looking to get the shot away. Burn stays with him, he does eventually get round him, but he's fouled by Burn.
Statman Dave was telling us just how good Pedro Neto is in the Fantasy 606 podcast this week. That's why he's sitting in his team. Don't think he got Eddie Nketiah in today. If you've done that in your fantasy football team, fair play to you. Arsenal beat Sheffield United by 5-0. Eddie Nketiah with a first Premier League hat-trick. The Fantasy 606 podcast there for you on the BBC Sounds app. A new one out every Thursday. The Footballers Football podcast this week, I'm sure, will be a good listen. Callum Wilson and Michail Antonio both on that one, and Callum Wilson already with 2 goals in the bag tonight. Pedro Neto is going to try and make it 2-2 if he's the one to strike it. Could be Lemina, could be Neto. The whistle blows, the rain continues to fall. Neto with the left foot hits the top of the wall, it spins away to the left. Traoré chases it for Wolves, keeps it in play and plays it back to Totti. Totti's closed down just short of the halfway line inside the Newcastle half. Longstaff wins it. Suddenly Newcastle on the front foot. Almiron to Wilson. He's on the hat-trick. The angle's tight for him. Semedo's there. Semedo makes the tackle and knocks it out for a throw into Newcastle. Paul Robinson
does really well there. Semedo tracks Callum Wilson all the way. Almiron wins ball back in midfield, puts it through one-on-one Callum Wilson. Semedo just puts his body between him and Callum Wilson, puts it out for a throw in on the far side, but that all stemmed from Neto's free kick. Just watching Neto's free kick here in front of us, the Newcastle wall was massive. He had to get it up and down, but you look at the players in that wall, it hit the top of the wall, and within 3 passes Newcastle were in the Wolves box.
Just thinking actually, when Newcastle were lining up before the game, the likes of Burn, Longstaff, Joe Linton in particular, the really big men in this Newcastle team. That's not including the 2 centre-backs, actually, Cher and Jamal Lascelles.
And the free kick was central, and when that happens, the goalkeeper tends to put the centre-halves into the wall. You don't need them to pick up because the cross isn't coming in. If you know there's going to be a direct shot on goal, you put your biggest men into the wall, and that's exactly what Nick Pope did, and it paid dividends for him.
Jose Sá, the goalkeeper at the other end, chips it forward. Wolves have it just inside their own half. Traoré to Cunha, wide to Ait-Nouri. Newcastle with Pope in goal. Trippier, Lascelles, Cher and Burn. High ball, which Dan Burn heads away, but I think Neto will get to that first, nods it down to Semedo. Semedo followed by two Newcastle players out to the right, gets the better of both of them. One more touchdown by the byline, beats Joelinton again for good measure. Cross comes in, Longstaff heads it away. Neto tries to get on the end of it, but Almiron is there and clears. Longstaff, Guimaraes and Joelinton as Newcastle's midfield three. Almiron and Gordon on the flanks with Callum Wilson through the middle. 5 minutes gone in the second half. It's Wolves 1, Newcastle 2. What have you spotted, Paul?
Max Kilman there. He's come out in the second half and he's got an industrial style strapping on his left knee, a really heavy knee. He's not moving comfortably at all.
Yeah,
Callum Wilson's pulled over to this side and he's looking to exploit that.
Oh, lovely touch to Cunha. Cunha from Neto's pass couldn't quite beat Lascelles. Still Wolves have it though. Traore sets himself up 25 yards out. Newcastle get enough bodies in the way. Almiron tries to hold off Traore. Really good physical battle. Almiron's winning it for now, and then Traore leans into Almiron's back, knocks him over. Anthony Taylor says free kick. I think he's got that right, hasn't he, Paul?
Well, the Wolves fans once again don't like it, but Almiron's done so well there. You know, he's only slight in body, but he's really, really strong on the ball. He gets the ball off Traore, ricochets off his shins, and he puts his body in between him and the ball, and he runs it out of danger for Newcastle. And Traore gets frustrated because he can't get around Almiron. He's really strong there.
Yeah, he's got that slightly, Almiron, I always think he's got that slightly sort of bendy, bow-legged run. He's wiry as well, but he's tough as teak, isn't he, Almiron?
Showed a lot of strength there.
Newcastle leading 2-1. 5 Live and BBC Sounds. 2 more Premier League commentaries on the way for you tomorrow. West Ham Everton at 1, Manchester Derby at 3:30. 3 more commentaries at 2 o'clock tomorrow from the Premier League, all available via the BBC Sport website and app as well. Aston Villa, Luton, Brighton, Fulham and Liverpool, Nottingham Forest. So whichever game you fancy tomorrow, you can listen to it on the BBC.
And I tell you what, there'll be goals tomorrow. Just like today, there's going to be plenty of goals on Match of the Day tonight, but there will be goals tomorrow. Look at those games.
I think there will. Joelinton sliding challenge by Lamina, catches Joelinton. The Wolves fans are livid once again. I think there was ball and man in that challenge. Lamina can't believe the decision's gone against him. Pedro Neto comes over to complain. We'll have a look on the monitor, Paul.
That looks like a really good challenge to me. He gets in front of Joelinton, and the Wolves fans are getting more and more frustrated with referee Anthony Taylor. And when he's giving decisions like that, you can see we've got a close-up of Gary O'Neill on the monitor now. He's trying to get his point across to the referee. He's made a bad decision there. It was a really, really good challenge by Lamina.
Atmosphere bubbling away very nicely indeed inside Molineux this evening, and the rain is just not relenting. It seems to be getting heavier if anything else. Looking forward to watching this young man come onto the field for Wolves. 22-year-old Tommy Doyle, on loan from Manchester City. One of the best goals I saw scored last season was scored by him in an FA Cup quarter-final against one of your former clubs, actually Blackburn, Paul, by Tommy Doyle, to win the quarter-final by 3-2. Almiron's on the ball for Newcastle inside the Wolves penalty area, tries to beat Dawson on the outside, and his right-footed effort goes right across the face of goal and all the way out for a throw into Wolves in their right-back position.
Works himself some really good space there on his so-called weaker right foot, Almiron. It was kind of a cross-come shot that ended up going out for a throw-in on this near side.
So Tommy Doyle is coming on, Boubacar Traore is coming off, so that just gives Wolves possibly a little bit more creativity in that central midfield. Doyle, who's made 3 substitute appearances so far in the Premier League for Wolves, stepping it up a level this season, part of that really impressive Sheffield United team last season. Wolves have given it away from the throw. Gordon's cut back, cleared away by Kilman, who's playing with this very heavy strapping around his left leg. Hwang controls on the right, pass into midfield. There's Doyle, first touch is Shaw, back to Dawson, quickly on to Totti wide to Ait-Nouri. 3 green shirts in his way. Clever scoop pass over the top. Cunha stabs it forward for Ait-Nouri. Good from Wolves. Cut back to the edge of the box. Here's Hwang. Hwang holds off the challenger Joelinton, then lays the pass off to Neto. Support on the outside from Semedo. Weak cross straight at Pope.
Once again, it's that quality in the final third for Wolves. Semedo finds himself in a great position, 10 yards out from the byline. He's got a free opportunity to cross it into the box, and he puts it straight into Nick Pope's gloves.
9 minutes gone in the second half. Clever turn from Anthony Gordon. Bought the challenge from Nelson Semedo. Definite foul. Free kick for Newcastle. If Newcastle do go on to win this game, Paul, and there's well over half an hour left in the game, considering the week they've had, lost to Borussia Dortmund at home on Wednesday, and the players they've lost, it'll be some result for them again.
It will be, because like you rightly said with the lineup, there's only Callum Wilson that's a change, and Callum Wilson played the majority of the game because of Isak's injury, and it's going to be a test on Eddie Howe's squad this season. But like I say, there's half an hour to go. Fatigue will set in. It's been a really, really good match, both teams going at it, and it'll be interesting to see how they stay the pace.
Another free kick has gone against Wolves. Max Kilman comes forward, and I thought won the ball cleanly. Anthony Taylor is not making friends in.
I tell you what, I'm glad I'm not giving him a lift home tonight. I wouldn't want to walk out the stadium with him tonight.
It is a foul, actually. Totti is dragging Almiron's shirt. A lot of fans won't have seen that. I think the Wolves fans don't care, actually. Even if the referee gets the decisions right, he's going to get booed. Here come Wolves. Good skills from Cunha across the halfway line, chased by Trippier. Cunha keeps going. Then he goes down very theatrically and wins the free kick, and Kieran Trippier turns to Anthony Taylor and says, how on earth have you bought that one? But a great chance for Wolves to curl a dangerous cross into the Newcastle penalty area. And as soon as Cunha went down there, you knew he was going to give the free kick.
You knew he was, because he was right in the corner there in front of the Wolves fans. Not that that should sway the referee's decision, but I think Anthony Taylor was due one to give Wolves one, if you like. But he does really, really well, Cunha. Slightest of contact with Kieran Trippier. Goes down. There's a little bit of a tangle. He goes down, but it's a free kick in a really, really dangerous area. It's 10 yards outside the box, between the 18-yard line and the byline. It's an opportunity for Wolves to deliver into the box and cause problems.
Cunha desperately trying to win that free kick, sort of bumps hip to hip with Trippier and then throws himself to the floor. There was contact. Anthony Taylor's given the free kick. Wolves 1, Newcastle 2, and Molyneux's absolutely jumping, as you can hear. Tommy Doyle comes over to take the free kick, level with that penalty spot. It'll be a right-footed in-swing, a whole line of players in the green shirts and the old gold and black queuing up inside the penalty area. Doyle's delivery at pace into the near post. Where's the ball gone? Just so many bodies in the way. Eventually scrambled clear by Newcastle, and there wasn't really a threat on Nick Pope's goal.
Brilliant delivery by Tommy Doyle. You could see what they were doing there. Neto was initially stood over it with his left foot. It was going to be an outswinger, but it was praying for a right footer to stand there and whip it in behind that defence. That's exactly what he did. Caused all kinds of confusion, but unfortunately for Wolves, it's been given offside.
Yeah, offside. Free kick for Newcastle, so even if it had gone into the back of the net, hang on, we've got VAR monitor in front of us now, because Callum Wilson's tried to head that ball away. His right arm is by his side, and it's possibly struck that right arm. Well, Anthony Taylor, so we're looking at VAR checking that, but actually Anthony Taylor's already had the all clear, and we get the game back underway. Newcastle leading by 2-1. Cher just puts enough on the pass to get it past Cunha. Trippier's ball up towards the halfway line. Lamina beats Wilson to it. Now Hwang, 20 yards out, central position, tries to poke a pass to Neto on the right when he possibly could have hit the shot, and Newcastle bring it away. And look at Dan Burn thundering forward down the left. Gordon on the ball on the halfway line, plays into central midfield. Guimaraes side foots his pass to Trippier. Trippier down the right to Almiron, back to Trippier, and Newcastle slow it down and just take the sting out of it for the moment. Now here's Cher, right in the middle of the pitch. Forward to Joe Linton, back to Cher again. Cher across to Burn. Burn's ball down the left to Gordon. Gordon whips that back into the Newcastle half. Wolves fans appeal for a handball against Fabian Cher.
Wolves fans appealing for anything at the moment, aren't they?
Longstaff's ball to the left. Nice build-up from Newcastle. Joe Linton asking a lot of Anthony Gordon, but Gordon's got the pace to get there ahead of Semedo. Semedo backs off. Gordon gets the cross in with his right foot. Wilson on the hat-trick, waiting in the middle, but Dawson heads it away. Hwang tries to take the ball down on his right foot. Holds Longstaff off brilliantly, looks for the pace of Neto. Neto's got the pace to get there ahead of Cher. Cher slides in and makes a really important intervention on the edge of the box. Behind it goes for a Wolves corner.
You know, I noticed with Cher there, his positional sense is excellent. He knows that Neto's got the speed to get around him. He knows that he can't catch him. But as soon as I saw that happen, Cher looked. He didn't look at the player, he looked at the space that he needed to get to, and he drove into that space where he'd given the opportunity to make the tackle. He didn't go one-on-one with Neto because he knew he couldn't keep up with him. He ran into the space and made the tackle. Brilliant defending.
That's the voice of former England goalkeeper Paul Robinson. Wolves 1, Newcastle 2. Corner for Wolves. Right in front of us on the Wolves' right flank. Neto goes short into the feet of Hwang. Back to Neto. First time ball with the left foot. High swinging, spinning ball to the far post. Brilliantly brought down by Aït-Nouri. Tries to get his cross in. Couple of deflections and the ball bobbles into the arms of Nick Pope. We're approaching the last half hour of the game. Newcastle still leading by 2-1. As Paul was saying, match of the day tonight, well worth a watch. BBC 1 10:20. See what you think about the penalty decision that Newcastle were given to get them 2-1 in front. The supposed contact from Hwang on Cher. Newcastle attacking down the left. Ball at Gordon's feet, teasing Semedo. Finds Guimaraes in the inside left channel. 25 yards out. Guimaraes trots infield, plays it back out to Gordon. It's just slowed down for a second here. Now Burn to Guimaraes. Across the Wolves half it goes to Lascelles. Lascelles strokes his pass to Trippier. Trippier tries to thread one through. Intercepted. Here's Cunha. Cunha bringing it forward for Wolves. Joelinton comes back, tries to drag him back. Pass in behind Hwang. Anthony Taylor wanted to blow the whistle, continues to play the advantage. Neto bringing it in from the right flank. Dances away from Joelinton. Pass back to young Tommy Doyle. Doyle. Pacey pass to Semedo. Wide it goes to Hwang. Hwang up against Gordon, drags him infield, lays it back to Semedo. First time cross, easy one for Cher to head away. Up in the air it goes. Totti wins the next header. Gordon's there, heads it back across the edge of his own box. Guimaraes chests it down. Guimaraes thumps it forward. Wilson gives chase, but it goes out for a Wolves throw. Paul Robinson.
There's an example of the real pace that Wolves have got in this side. They're quite happy to let Newcastle have possession, but when they do spring the trap, they do win it back. You look at Hwang, you look at Cunha, Neto, they've got pace on the counter-attack, and that's how they're looking to cause Newcastle problems. Newcastle now at this stage of the game, after we spoke so often about the Champions League game midweek, they're looking to take this thing out of the game. I'm surprised that Eddie Howe's not looked at substitutions already. Joelinton just going down there, feeling the effects of late on in the game. I don't think it will long before we see Eddie Howe change it up.
Newcastle bench tells you everything about the injury problems at the moment. 2 goalkeepers on there, Dubravka and Gillespie. 5 full-backs as well. Here's Cunha. Cunha's caused Newcastle's defenders all sorts of problems running at them this evening. Lays a pass off to Semedo. Semedo has to make tracks back to the halfway line to gather it. Kilman plays into the heart of midfield. Doyle clips the pass out to Aït-Nouri, tries to control it, slides off his boot, and it goes out for a throw-in. But on the bench they've got Dummett, Target, Kraft, who's not played a game this season, the summer signings Lewis Hall and Tino Livramento. If you wanted to go 6 fullbacks, Matt Ritchie's played fullback as well, and Joe Willock on the bench. So they are properly stretched at the moment. Newcastle. Joelinton stretches a leg out. Kilman beats him to the ball. Joelinton's flat on his back. Not sure how much longer he's going to be out there for Newcastle, as Paul was saying. Aït-Nouri thinks about a back heel on the halfway line, then goes for it. Caught. Fouled by Guimaraes. Free kick for Wolves. We've not had a yellow card in the game yet, have we?
No,
I'm not saying there should have been one actually, though, necessarily.
No, the referee's, I mean, he's lost control of it a couple of times if you ask the Wolves players and the Wolves fans, but there hasn't been that many incidents that have required yellow cards in this game.
Ball wide to Semedo, just over an hour away from kick-off in the Stade de France. Full commentary of South Africa, New Zealand in the Rugby Union World Cup final tonight. Craig Dawson with the outside of his right boot cushions a lovely pass to Kilman, who's not moving easily back there. That's a pass that's going to test him, and he does well, but he's hobbling. Every time it seems fine when he's in the action, Paul, then he stops, and then he looks like he's in a bit of trouble. Plays it back to Dawson. Dawson to Semedo. Plays it into open space in the Wolves half. Doyle runs onto it. Pass to Aït-Nouri. Back into Doyle in the middle of the Newcastle half. Forward to Semedo. Semedo stretches. Can't quite control that. Joelinton's there, facing his own goal. Does well. Plays it forward to Gordon. Good ball from Gordon. Callum Wilson chases. Wilson pretty much on his own. Almiron trying to get up there with him. Wilson into the penalty area. Wilson, right-footed pass, intercepted by Kilman. Just didn't have enough support to find a teammate. Wolves clearance, fabulous one onto the chest of Neto. Wolves fans excited, as you can hear. Goes streaking past Dan Burn into the box. Burn slides in, cross deflected. Touch taken by Cunha. Pope comes out, gets his body in the way, and the ball spins up, and Pope makes a clean catch.
Does well, Nick Pope. Spreads himself, makes it difficult for Cunha to get the ball across the box. His first touch just puts him too close to the on-rushing goalkeeper. Pope spreads himself, makes himself a really big starfish shape. Makes the save, goes up in the air and captures the rebound. Newcastle getting deeper and deeper, looking in possession. They're looking like not a boxer on the ropes, but they're looking tired, aren't they? Wolves are having more and more possession. Newcastle deeper and deeper, and they're looking to use the out ball to Callum Wilson when they're in possession.
Wolves 1, Newcastle 2. Talking boxing, fight tonight in Riyadh. Sounds like some event. Heard Steve Bunce talking to Mark Chapman earlier on today. Tyson Fury against Francis Ngannou. The 5 Live Boxing podcast for all your reaction to that tomorrow morning, and the BBC Sport website for the live text during the fight. Here's Guimaraes. Guimaraes digs his right foot under the ball. A load of spray of water comes up as he plays the pass high out to the right. Trippier infield to Longstaff. Trippier involved again. Back towards Pope. Awkward one for him. Just gets his thighs in the way of the ball to control it. Flip pass from Share out to Byrne. Newcastle still leading by 2-1 with just over 25 minutes to play plus a bit of added time.
Yeah, you can see Eddie Howe talking there to Jason Tindall, and you can see him looking at his team getting deeper and deeper. And what, we're 65 minutes into the game, and you can see him now thinking that he wants to make a change. He'll be very happy with the way that the game's gone, the way that his team have played, but he's got to work out now how he gets to that 90-95 minute mark and what substitutions, if any, that he needs to make. Because you rightly say, you look at that bench, there's not a lot of people who are going to come off that and change the game.
Pedro Neto's gone down off the ball. Lemina's bringing it forward for Wolves, running across the Newcastle half from left to right, and then Anthony Taylor eventually blows the whistle.
He's gone from giving them nothing to giving them everything.
Tell you what though, I mean this is in shooting range. I think on a wet night like tonight, we saw the handling error from Jose Sarr in the first half. I would say 27 yards out, inside right channel.
This is one I'd used to hate as a goalkeeper on a night like this, because it's so far out. If you put a wall there, people will look at you and go, why are you having a wall there? And then you don't put a wall there and he skids it in front of you. It's a really, really horrible distance.
Did you ever go without the wall, Paul? You very rarely see that, do you?
Oh, in training you do it all the time,
right? Because
you'd back yourself all day long from 20-25 yards. They'd score 1 out of 10, but if you put a wall there, you give them a target to go up and over. You stand at the other half of the goal, but it takes a brave goalkeeper to go without it.
Yeah, I suppose it does, but as you say there, according to the numbers, if you're going to back yourself, you possibly should. Let's see what happens here.
Pope's gone without one.
He's gone without a wall. Exactly what we're just talking about. Touch short to Neto, couple of touches, scoop ball into the box. Pope comes and claims it at the far post. Couple of Wolves attackers trying to get on the end of that. But Newcastle survived that attack. Wolves 1, Newcastle 2.
If I had players as big as the Newcastle players in front of me, those two centre-halves, I'd be building a wall for every free kick, believe me.
Lascelles plays the ball back to Share. Premier League results today, in case you missed them. Arsenal beat Sheffield United by 5-0. Brentford 2-0 winners at Chelsea in the early kick-off. And Bournemouth beat Burnley by 2-1. Their first win of the season to take them out of the bottom 3. Flip pass from Trippier down the right. He appeals for handball, not given. Wolves looking dangerous again on the counter. Hwang caught there by Joelinton. Referee Anthony Taylor wants to play the advantage and does so. Here's Neto on the right, 3 green shirts around him. Nutmegs Gordon, still going, bringing the ball in field, turns away from Longstaff, holds him off and then lays it off to Semedo. Continues his run, Neto. Semedo dummies the cross on the right underneath our noses in the commentary position here at Molineux. And still the rain is relentless here. Wolves 1, Newcastle 2. Tommy Doyle goes chasing the ball across the halfway line, leaves it to Totti. Doyle gets it back again. Very happy to control things, young Doyle, from the base of midfield. Playing it forward here to Cunha. Cunha wants Ait-Nouri to make the run on the left. He does that, plays it back to Cunha. Cunha bounces off a couple of defenders. Great run down to the left, looking for the cutback. Sliding block was a really good one by Guimaraes. Cunha chests it down on the byline, lobs it back in. Then Byrne heads it away. Lemina shoots. Byrne was fouled as he headed the ball clear. Shot took a deflection. Pope saved it anyway. Wolves fans complaining that they don't think Byrne was fouled. I think he wasn't he, Paul?
Oh, that's an absolutely fantastic defensive header from Dan Byrne. He's no idea what's behind him. I think it's Semedo comes in to try and challenge him for the header, but Byrne, he's just focused on the ball, and it's a fantastic header. Semedo comes in, clatters into him. It's clearly a foul. It's really, really brave defending. It's a horrible situation as a goalkeeper or a defender. You're travelling backwards, you're taking 1-2 steps back and jumping, and you don't know what's behind, and you're just waiting for the impact. But Dan Byrne went through with it, and he got a great header on the ball.
Wolves 1, Newcastle 2, an hour away from kick-off in the Stade de France. South Africa against New Zealand in the Rugby Union World Cup final tonight. Nick Pope clears with his right foot. Pope's clearance headed away by Craig Dawson. Back into the Wolves half it goes. Forward by Ait-Nouri. Hwang chasing it. Lascelles fouls him. That might be a red card. Denial of a goal scoring opportunity? No. Only a yellow card given by Anthony Taylor. While we tidy this up, let's take you live to Paris. Chris Jones will give you the build-up to the big one on 5 Live tonight. Chris, can't wait. You can't give it a better sell than that. The coverage of all the games in the Rugby Union World Cup from the 5 Live Sport team has been absolutely fantastic. I highly recommend you have a listen to that. That's what Paul and I are going to be doing in the car on the way home this evening. Now, what about that decision there, Paul? Yellow card for Lascelles.
I think he's got away with it because of the wet pitch. The ball skidded through to Nick Pope, and before the impact has actually the two players have hit the ground, the ball's in the goalkeeper's arms. It's a great ball over the top from Aït-Nouri. Huang gets the wrong side of Lascelles. Lascelles just puts his arm round Huang, pulls him down, but Nick Pope's already holding the ball, which I think is why he's got away with just the yellow.
So Lascelles booked for that. Miguel Almiron booked for back chat a few moments ago as well. 2 yellow cards for Newcastle. They still lead by 2-1. Neto's free kick chipped up towards the far post. Pope opts to have a punch at that, gets a good fist on the ball, clears it a long way out. Wolves trying to pick up the bits and pieces. Totti in the right wing position. Lamina makes the run on the outside. Brazilian skills, Portuguese skills I should say, from Totti. Great ball to Huang. Scores for Wolves. He's done it again at Molineux. Fabulous skills from Totti to tee him up, but the coolness and calmness under pressure from Huang to whip it back onto the left foot, roll it past Nick Pope into the bottom corner. That goal was coming. Wolves deserve it. It's Wolves 2, Newcastle 2.
Two pieces of absolute individual brilliance from Wolves coming together to create the goal for Huang. Totti finds himself in this right wing position, like you say. Great footwork, cuts into the box, and he slips the ball through to Huang, who you think he's going to hit it. For all the world you think he's going to hit it first time, but no, he cuts it back onto his left foot and he drags it into Nick Pope's near post. It's a fantastic finish. Totti's footwork and his ability to get him into that position beats 3 Newcastle players, slips in Huang with his left foot, touches it inside, with the same foot drags it into the near post of Nick Pope. 2-2, we've got a game on.
7th goal of the season for the South Korean Huang. He has scored in his last 6 home games in the Premier League, so that matches John Richards back in 1973, the last man to do that for Wolves in the top flight. And Totti Gomez looking like Francesco Totti with the skills on the ball to tee Huang up. That was absolutely brilliant. Check that out on Match of the Day tonight. Newcastle have made a change, Paul. Joe Willock's on for Miguel Almiron.
Yeah, a change that's been coming. Joe Linton and Almiron. You wondered which one would come off first, but those 2 individual pieces of skill for the goal, they were incredible. I mean, the piece of skill from Totti to get in that position, but Huang, what he does is he doesn't cut back with one foot and finish with the other. You think he's going to hit it with his right foot. He uses the outside of his left foot to cut back, and then in an instant he whips it in goal with the inside of his left foot. Fantastic footwork from both players. A great goal.
18 minutes plus added time remaining. Great game tonight on 5 Live and BBC Sounds, with the Rugby Union World Cup final still to come as well. Wolves 2, Newcastle 2. We saw Huang do that in the first half in terms of a similar skill. His change of direction in a very short space of time, but also in the tiniest of spaces, just physically inside the penalty area, is really, really impressive.
Well, it's the speed of his feet, but it's the speed of his feet with the ball at his feet, and his ability to move his body at the same time. When you watch that goal tonight on Match of the Day, it really is an unbelievable piece of footwork.
Ball's with Nick Pope, just outside his penalty area. Plays it to Fabian Schär. Guimaraes. Huang comes barging into it, and that's a free kick for Newcastle. Wolves fans again on Anthony Taylor's back. I don't think they can have too many arguments with that one. Longstaff takes it. Are we going to get a winner? Lascelles looking for the run of Callum Wilson into space on the right hand side. Wilson chases. It's played back to Jose Sarr. Kilman inside his own penalty area. Pass is intercepted by Dan Burn. Looking for the 1-2 with Gordon. Gordon thinks he was caught on the edge of the box. Stays down. No free kick given. Wolves come on the counter. Neto away from Longstaff. If he fouls him there, that's a yellow card. Couldn't get hold of his shirt. Hamstring's gone for Neto. Neto was about to pull the trigger on the edge of the box, and then he's gone down, hobbling and clutching the back of his right leg. But Wolves continue to play here with Neto flat on his back in the box. Cunha crosses. That goes behind for a goal kick. That is a massive, massive blow for Wolves, and that is a very sad sight to see.
Ali, I've never seen that before. I've seen people's hamstring go, but not in that position. The amount of times, listen, for those of you listening, you see people's hamstring go, they're in full stride and you just see the hamstring ping and they stop. But Neto did this. He does what he does at best, cuts inside, he's in full flow, he's just about to pull the trigger on the edge of the box and he stops, and you're thinking, what's happened, what's he done? And then you realise that it's his hamstring. So often do you see sprinters and wingers, you see people's hamstrings go and they stop and you can see what's happened, but not in that position. That's a bad one.
Oh, that's a real worry for Wolves. It's a real shame. He has been spellbinding at times this season, Pedro Neto.
He's their best player, isn't he, by miles?
He is, yeah. It's most creative, Paul. 7 assists so far this season. He is distraught. You can see we've got the camera close up. He's being shielded by the medical team as well. If possible, if at all possible, the rain has got even heavier in the last couple of minutes as well. And Rob, our producer, is pointing out that the dugout here at Wolves actually isn't big enough, so that the shelter bit, Paul, isn't big enough for the entire backroom staff. There's 8 of them out there getting absolutely soaked to the skin.
Well, there's more staff these days than players, isn't there? The teams travel away with so many members of staff, they have to put an extra dugout by the side of the dugout, and I'm not sure there's much cover in the actual dugout because it is absolutely scything down.
Yeah, it really is now, teeming down, and poor old Pedro Neto certainly out of this game. But hamstring injury as well. You just wonder how long he's going to be out for.
But you see Wolves today, and you see everything that they do. I spoke before in the first half about that diagonal that they look for with Semedo and Neto on the right hand side. Every time they have good possession in this second half, whether it's Juan in the middle, whether it's Doyle, whether it's Lamina, their first look is out to the right for Neto. He's that good. Everything good that Wolves do go through him. Whether it's on this left hand side, he cuts in, tries to get the shot away, tries to create. You can see him there, he's still got his head in his hands. He's in a lot of pain. That's a bad one. That's his hamstring gone.
Half an hour gone in the second half, 15 minutes remaining. There's going to be a fair bit of added time as well. The stretcher has now arrived for Pedro Neto. He is able to sort of lever himself into position, but you can see, understandably, how disappointed he is, because you know as well, don't you, Paul, we're all saying he's in the form of his life, but if you're in the form of your life, you know it as well. This is your time, and the career, I know we're not talking career ending here, but the career is a short one, and you want to be out there as much as you can.
Absolutely. When you're playing that well, you want to play week in and week out. You want to play twice, 3 times a week, and he is pivotal to everything that they do. And the worrying thing is, as bad as it looks, the length of time that he's going to be out. You know, there was a lot of talk before the season started that there isn't the finances at this football club to go out and buy players. There was no huge transfer window spending. So if their main player is going to be out well beyond January, what can Gary O'Neill do? You know, how can he shuffle this squad? What can he do in January to replace him? Because at the moment, he's irreplaceable.
No consolation to Pedro Neto, I'm sure. The stretcher now being levered onto the trolley, and he will slowly be pushed around the pitch in front of us, heading towards the dressing rooms here at Molineux. Standing ovation for him all around the ground. Really sad sight to see. A real change as well for Wolves, because the change they've made, Neto off, Sasha Kalajdzic, the giant Austrian centre forward, who has got a couple of important late goals for Wolves this season. He is on, Kalajdzic.
He is a giant as well, isn't he? I've just caught a glimpse of him. He's huge. Very,
very different player to Neto. Obviously won't play wide right. Huang out to the right. Kalajdzic through the middle. He wears number 18, and you can hear the applause now. So the Wolves fans around us getting to their feet. We can see Pedro Neto flat on his back, arms across his face. He is absolutely devastated to be leaving the action. 2-2 between Wolves and Newcastle. Guimaraes side foots a pass out to the right. Longstaff takes a touch, tackled by Totti, and the ball goes behind for a Newcastle corner. Still plenty of football to be played tonight.
Just taking the shine off the game a little bit, hasn't it? It's a little bit of a low come round Molineux. The atmosphere was fantastic before that, but the break in the game and their injury to the most creative, to their best player, it's just gone quiet a little bit. Wind out the sails, hasn't it?
It has, Paul, yeah. Kalajdzic, of course, late winner last weekend, was one of the winners at Bournemouth. Bournemouth got caught playing out from the back, and Kalajdzic finished it very, very nicely. Defending for Wolves to do now. Newcastle corner. It's an away swinger. Flicked header from Kilman. Out of the penalty area it goes. Ball is played back by Cher to Longstaff. Longstaff drives the diagonal. Trippier's up to win a header. His header goes to the edge of the Wolves box. Doyle is there, chests it down, thumps it away on the half volley. 12 minutes plus added time remaining. Rain drumming down furiously in the West Midlands. Wolves 2, Newcastle 2.
Almost immediately there, Wolves have sacrificed possession, and Newcastle seem to have picked up the baton, if you like. They've gained possession, and they look to have a spring back in their step.
Might lose it inside their own half here. Good battling in the end from Guimaraes to keep it. Back it comes to Cher. Guimaraes back on his feet, moves into that midfield position, gets away from Kalajdzic. Back to Cher, across to Byrne. Byrne's closed down by Huang, who never stops running for Wolves. And here's Cher just trotting forward. His dark green shirt soaked through, sees space and keeps going. Good run, plays the pass into Joe Linton. Joe Linton, touch and turn, finds Trippier on the right. Trippier stands the ball up to the far post. They're all attacking it, headed down and wide, and that was a really good chance for Newcastle. Cher continuing the run, having started the move, could have finished it.
I think it was his own player, Callum Wilson, that got in his way. Ball goes out to the right hand side to Trippier, and he stands it up at the far post, and it's Callum Wilson and Cher. I think Cher's coming in to head the ball, and it's Callum Wilson in front of him that just puts him off.
Cher timed the run quite beautifully. 10 minutes remaining. Wolves 2, Newcastle 2. You said your dad was a rugby union fan, Paul. Is he a cricket fan as well?
Yeah, very much so.
Okay. India-England tomorrow. I know that's, from England's point of view, is
it
game's up, isn't it? No, from England's point of view, out of the World Cup.
Done, are we?
Yeah. And I think with the I think I heard Mark saying with the Netherlands win today against Bangladesh, I think England have gone to the bottom of the table. Ball through for Newcastle to chase. Wilson trying to get on the end of it. So was Joe Willock as well. Wolves have dealt with it. Here's Tommy Doyle. Game's getting very open in the closing stages here. Doyle's pass to Cunha. Cunha to his left finds Totti. Wide it goes to Ait-Nouri. Anthony Gordon now wide right for Newcastle. Willock on the left. Callum Wilson through the middle. Guimaraes looking a little jaded, I would say, in central midfield. As soon as I say that, though, he bursts into a sprint to try and cut off a pass from Kilman. Kilman sees that avenue closing and plays back across to Dawson. Dawson with the outside of his right foot stabs it forward for Doyle. Doyle not enough on the pass. Trippier comes in hard on Ait-Nouri. That is a foul, that is a yellow card, that is a free kick for Wolves.
Yeah, just mistimes that one, Trippier. I think with the pitch the way that it is, players sliding in quite often looks worse than it is. The referee was right on top of it there. Just catches Ait-Nouri before the ball comes in.
Paul Robinson with us here at Molineux into the last 10 minutes of this Premier League commentary. 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Wolves 2, Newcastle 2. West Ham Everton on 5 Live tomorrow. Kicks off at 1 o'clock. At 3:30 we've got full commentary of the Manchester derby. John Murray and Chris Waddle with you for that one. Kalajdzic chases the long ball for Wolves, back to Pope. Pope very calmly and precisely plays it forward to Cher. Cher gets it out to Trippier, back to Lascelles. Lascelles clears first time and Totti heads it away. We've also got the Mexican Grand Prix in full for you tomorrow night. Coverage starts at 7:45, so in between the end of the football and the Mexican Grand Prix, Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage will be there for you tomorrow to take the calls on 6:06. And all the 2 o'clock kickoffs at Villa, Luton, Brighton, Fulham, Liverpool, Nottingham Forest. Paul Robinson has promised us goals. You can choose whichever one you want to listen to. They're online, available via the BBC Sport website and app. But actually, you're right, Paul. If those 3 games all end 0-0, I'll give you the money myself. They can't.
Yeah, I can't see it. There's goals all over tomorrow. Should look at the teams that are playing.
Willock on as a substitute for Newcastle. Eddie Howe will be delighted to have him back, given the current situation with the squad getting stretched. His ball is intercepted. Lascelles is there, plays a hopeful ball forward, intercepted by Lemina. Still 2-2. Closing stages. Lemina, he's struggling as well now. He's pulled up. Lemina has stopped running. Ball still in play. Hwang on the right. Back to Semedo. Semedo to Kilman, who's got the heavily strapped left leg, so he's struggling as well. Lemina's picking it up again, so he's going to stay out there for now. Gary O'Neill will keep an eye on that. Here is Lemina on the ball. Finds Ait-Nouri. Ait-Nouri tries to turn away from Trippier. Good tackle from Trippier. Has to be careful now on the yellow card, but knew he was going to win the ball and won it well. Gordon slaloming from the right hand side, gets the pass back edge of the box, might fall for Willock, nearly tackled in the box, is tackled, and Wolves are able to bring it away. You do feel there might just be another goal in the game here.
Well, it's so open now, isn't it? There's 2 teams. Wolves really are missing Neto on this right hand side because it's their out ball. They're looking lost when they look up, when they're in possession. They've got no plan B, if you like, when they're coming forward. They brought Juan out to this side, but he's not the same type of player. Newcastle are growing in confidence coming into this game, and with Willock coming on now, he's on the ball on his left hand side.
Yeah, Willock edge of the box finds Joe Linton. He's falling backwards as he crosses. The cross hits Kilman. The 2 of them battle for the ball. Kilman's got his arms round Joe Linton. He holds him off, plays it back to Dan Burn. He's inside the Wolves penalty, hits the right footed shot. It opened up for him, didn't get any power on it, and hits it straight at Jose Sarr.
And we've got Joe Linton down here in the corner. Jose Sarr just kicked the ball out. There's 2 or 3 players down now. Lemina's down in the middle, holding his hamstring. Looks like he's got cramp. Joe Linton's gone down. Kilman's gone down with his huge strapping on. We've got a rugby match after this, you know, but they know that.
Yeah, Rugby Union World Cup final on the way. Don't miss that. New Zealand against South Africa Joao Gomez is getting ready to come on. I presume that will be for Lamina, because he was the one struggling for Wolves. If you have just tuned in, sad news for Wolves. Pedro Neto off with a hamstring injury, having added another assist to the tally tonight. This is Wolves 2, Newcastle 2. In terms of the football coming your way this week across the network, we're into the Carabao Cup fourth round, so the ties this week are playing for a place in the quarter-finals. Couple of games on Tuesday night. We've got full commentary on Exeter against Middlesbrough. 6 games Wednesday night. West Ham Arsenal kicks off at 7:30. That's full commentary on 5 Live. Commentary on Manchester United Newcastle will start on Sports Extra. Lamina comes off and Joao Gomez comes on. Gary O'Neill trying to get the attention of Ait Nouri here. What message is he trying to... Ait Nouri's not paying a blind bit of note. Oh, he's got him now.
I think, well, he's wandering around on the halfway line, and his team have got possession in their own box.
Yeah,
I think Gary O'Neill's trying to say to him, get back to left back.
Yeah. Right, play back underway. Joe Linton stayed out there. Lamina off, Joao Gomez on. Wolves 2, Newcastle 2. And straight off to the Stade de France after the game. Kalajic heads the ball to his right. Dan Burn dummies a clearance, lets the ball run out of play, and that'll be a throw-in for Newcastle on the left.
They've been resilient, Newcastle. I've been impressed with them. They've dug deep when they've had to. Said it was going to be a challenge for them today with players missing. Most players would have to play 90 minutes against a decent Wolves side, and defeated in full before this game. When Newcastle conceded, went to 2-2, they showed a lot of character, and they've come back into this game because it was quite easy for them to fold. But they've got some leaders out there. They've come back into the game, they've put the ball forward, and they've looked the most likely in the last 5 minutes.
Standing water gathering all around the outside of the pitch here on the sort of red grass surface. See the cameramen and the ball boys and those Wolves staff that I mentioned absolutely soaked through. Lascelles cross to Cher inside his own half, forward to Guimaraes, back to Lascelles. Cunha closing it down for Wolves. Tireless effort from him and Hwang in the forward positions. Cross to Cher again. Cher at walking pace, looking for runners ahead of him, unless he just decides to do it on his own again, and that's what he starts doing. Wide to Willock. Willock's ball intercepted by Kilman, cleared. Up to Joe Linton, and now Guimaraes finds the ball at his feet, and he's running diagonally from left to right across the halfway line. Bobbling pass finds Trippier towards Gordon. Little step over from Gordon. Goes out for a Newcastle throw. Trippier takes it quickly to Lascelles. Lascelles across to Cher. Joe Willock moving into position wide on the left to receive this pass from Cher. Eddie Howe urging his team forward. Guimaraes to Willock again, right on that left-hand touchline. Knocks the ball past Hwang. Hwang continues to chase him. Willock beats him down to the byline, knocks it through Hwang's legs, but Hwang is there to get on the ball. Now he's under pressure down by the corner flag in the right-back position, does really well. Hits the clearance into Willock, and behind it goes for a goal kick.
Nobody's wanting to put the ball at risk in that final third now. We're entering that stage of the game where neither team want to lose the game. Yes, they'll push forward and they'll try and win the game, but nobody wants to lose possession. Nobody wants to make that final pass and put the ball at risk that might just give you that edge.
Callum Wilson gave Newcastle the first half lead. That was the mistake from Jose Sarr. Mario Lamina, his first goal for Wolves, with the equaliser from the Neto corner, diving header at the far post. Then the debatable penalty in added time at the end of the first half, nearly saved by Jose Sarr. That was Wilson's second goal of the game, and Hwang, goal of the night you'd have to say actually. Totti's skill to set it up, and Hwang's little chop to create the chance and then bury it has got us at 2-2. We're in the 89th minute of the game. Monsoon-like conditions at Molineux. Throw in from Trippier, skids across the wet pitch. Wilson tries to hold it up for Newcastle. Wolves clear it, falls to Cunha. Cunha wants a runner on the right-hand side. That's where Neto would normally be. Tries to slide the pass through. Kalajic looking for Hwang. Intercepted by Lascelles. Lascelles pass out to the left. Finds Cher. Cher down the line to Willock. Just chips the ball into Cher's path. Good play by Newcastle. Guimaraes picks up the running. Challenged by Joao Gomez. No foul, says Anthony Taylor. Tired Newcastle legs back pedalling. Wolves sense an opportunity. Joao Gomez running forward, flicks the ball to Hwang. Hwang inside the penalty area, angles tight for Cunha, hits the shot. Joelinton blocks, corner for Wolves.
Guimaraes is absolutely raging. He's followed the referee all the way back from the halfway line. He's absolutely convinced that he and Newcastle should have a free kick. Wolves nick the ball, they go into the Newcastle box, win the self a corner. They have a 5-on-5 situation, but at this stage in the game it's not what Newcastle would want.
Post-match reaction to the game and analysis in the Football Daily podcast, available for you on the BBC Sounds app. Is it going to finish 2-2? Tommy Doyle's corner into the near post, headed away by Longstaff. Semedo, the ball bounces in front of him, lofts it back into the box. Kalajdzic controls, tries to turn and hold off defenders, goes tumbling with Lascelles behind him. Kalajdzic really trying to win the penalty here. Not much in that, I don't think. Anthony Taylor not interested. 8 minutes of added time remaining. Definitely time for a winner. Good sliding challenge by Dawson on Wilson. That's a throw-in for Newcastle in an attacking position on the right. So, my watch tells me 23 minutes past 7. Add 8 minutes takes you to 7:31. You're going to have half an hour or so's build-up to the Rugby Union World Cup final. Martin Johnson, part of the team. It's on the way here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Throw in taken. Gordon tries to get the cross in. Wolves win the goal kick. And Jose Sarr just holds the ball in both hands, and it's going to take a little while to get the game back underway.
I think the way the game's finishing, I think Gary O'Neill will be happy with the two managers if it stays like this. Eddie Howe, yes, will be delighted with his team, with the spirit that they've showed, with the effort that they've put in. But as the game's gone on, Newcastle have looked the more likely in the second half. And I think if Gary O'Neill comes away from this with a point with his team after trailing, he'll be very pleased. But saying that, Wolves are on the attack now. Yes,
Hwang got the ball at his feet. Cunha making the run outside him. Good defending from Fabian Schär. Cunha tried to knock it past him. Schär stuck a leg out and blocked it to Guimaraes. Guimaraes, brilliant first time ball to Willock on the left. Cunha comes back chasing for Wolves. Tommy Doyle's come across as well. Willock looking for a green-shirted teammate. Joelinton to Guimaraes. Newcastle have switched it quickly to the right-hand side. Trippier's got Longstaff outside him. Trippier wants an option. That is Longstaff. There's the cross. Diving header from Totti. Longstaff wants it to go out for a corner. Aït-Nouri prevents that. Slides in, clears with his left foot. Throw in for Newcastle. Trippier takes it quickly into Gordon. Clever turn from Gordon. Gordon heading for the byline. Tackle on him. Corner this time for Newcastle.
A lot of tired bodies out there. This is where concentration kicks in as well. You work hard on set pieces all week, you work hard on structure, but just one switch off from one player here could cost your team. A real opportunity now for Newcastle. They're loading the box.
Still got 6 minutes of added time. Plenty can happen in that time. Wolves 2, Newcastle 2. Corner to come in from the right. Trippier drills it into that penalty area. Shot from Wilson, left-footed, blocked on the goal line. Back it comes out to Trippier again, just stands the ball up, high one to the far post, headed back across goal. Kalajdzic is there using his height to head it away for Wolves. Gordon side foots a pass back here to Byrne. Lovely ball out to the left. Fabian Schär is there, one touch from him onto the right foot, scuffs the shot, blocked at the near post, and Schär, tired legs of Schär, wants that to go behind for a corner. Tommy Doyle helps him out, sticks a right boot on it. Another corner for Newcastle.
A couple of really nice opportunities for Newcastle there. They're not afraid to put the ball in the box. They've got the centre-halves up there, they've got the height in there. Kieran Trippier delivered that corner, came in at shoulder, how he fizzed it across the 6-yard box. Callum Wilson heads it back across.
Right, corner Newcastle to come in from the left. Pretty much every single outfield player, bar a couple, are inside the Wolves 6-yard box. So Trippier's just going to try and put it in there with pace and hope that Newcastle get the crucial touch. Here it comes, high one to the far post. Sarr stretches, gets a fist on it. What can Wolves do on the counter? Lob ball. Hwang goes sprinting after it. Inside his own half is Longstaff. Longstaff really measured pass with his left foot, wide to Trippier on the left. Trippier switches play quickly to Lascelles inside the centre circle. We've played 3.5 minutes of added time. We've got 4.5 minutes still to go, and it's still 2-2.
Really good piece of goalkeeping from Jose Sarr there. A routine punch, but not in this weather. As you say, it's monsoon conditions. Newcastle there, they loaded the 6-yard box with a load of bodies. They put everybody in there, and Kieran Trippier whipped it underneath the crossbar. A really, really difficult one for the goalkeeper to judge and deal with in this condition. But he came out, he was confident, he got a punch on it, and he cleared the box.
Willock wide on the left, 10 yards inside the Wolves half, looking for an option. Kalajdzic comes sliding in to intercept the pass. Hwang with a neat touch plays it back to Semedo. Semedo chips it up to Kalajdzic, nods it down. Hwang tries to play it back to Kalajdzic. Burns there to block it. Now it goes for a throw-in. Coming into this game, Wolves were unbeaten in 4 Premier League games. Newcastle unbeaten in 5, having won 4 of the 5 and scored 15 goals in the process of gaining those wins. 2 good teams have gone head-to-head here, Paul Robinson.
Yeah, they really have, and that just gives us a little indication of which manager is happier with a point. Gary O'Neill went to chase the ball there, and then he realised there was 4 minutes left and his team have a point. He turned around and quickly allowed the ball to run on a little bit further.
Dan Burns missed the header from the throw. Shares behind him, chests it down, launches it high in the air. Wilson can't bring it down. Joe Linton tries to use his strength to hold off Joao Gomez. The ball stays in play. There is Burn, volleys it with his left foot. Longstaff underneath it, heads it back to Guimaraes. He almost slips under pressure from Cunha, but plays it back to Lascelles. 3 minutes of the game remaining. Wolves 2, Newcastle 2. Lascelles creeping forward. Longstaff to his right. What a Newcastle player's going to have left for that League Cup game against Manchester United on Wednesday. There'll be changes for sure. Gordon barged over. Play continues. Trippier back to Longstaff. Little pass infield to Guimaraes. Guimaraes stumbles, needs to break play up there, can't do so. Kalajdzic brings it away. Kalajdzic, big long legs, take him across the halfway line. Cunha almost taking too long there, delays the pass. Joao Gomez is fouled, Cunha was fouled. Wolves do get the free kick in the end on the halfway line.
All getting a little bit scrappy, isn't it? Referee's giving a free kick there on the halfway line.
Longstaff booked by Anthony Taylor, 4th Newcastle player to go in the book.
I'm surprised that he's not booked a substitute there. Came on Gomez for Wolves. As Longstaff's getting booked, he's waving a fake yellow card in there, which we don't like to see.
No, you're right.
I don't think the referee's seen it.
Couple of minutes to play. Still 2-2. Wolves 2, Newcastle 2. Free kick from Wolves. Lofted forward. Burn heads it away. Halfway line is Kilman to Doyle. Doyle's right-footed pass. Semedo stay forward. Now he's going to be quicker than Burn. Burn's just going to try and hold him off. Burn's done well to get his body in the way. He's got the last touch. Knocks it out for a Wolves throw. Some really tired Newcastle players out there.
There is, you can see, really leggy. And Dan Burn there really had to dig deep to stop Semedo, but he did extremely well. Great defending.
Minute and a half to go. Wolves attacking at Molineux. Rain teeming down. Wolves 2, Newcastle 2. Wolves twice behind. Twice they've managed to peg Newcastle back. Kilman plays it back to Dawson. Wolves fans a little disgruntled that it wasn't played forward. Then it goes forward from Dawson. Semedo jumps with Joe Linton. Joe Linton wins the header. Minute to play. Wolves throw on the right, but they are in absolutely no hurry to take it.
No, there's a lot of positives that both managers can take from this. You know, both sets of players have dug deep and given a performance. And as you said, it's been a really, really good game of football. It's been an entertaining watch. We've had goals, we've had incident, and 2 sets of players that have given absolutely everything.
Right, into the last minute of the game here. Rugby Union World Cup final on the way. Kicks off at 8 o'clock. Kalajdzic will chase a ball back to Nick Pope from Lascelles. Pope taking absolutely no chances. Clatters it downfield with his right foot. Dawson chests it down. Plays it to Totti on his left. Totti has to take a big bow for creating the Wolves' second equaliser tonight. Offside against Aït-Nouri. Streaking away down the left. Thought it might be the last chance in the game, but Newcastle will get the free kick.
Yeah, ball over the top. Aït-Nouri just mistimes his run. He shouldn't, because he's looking along the line.
So free kick Newcastle. Wolves fans want it pushed back a little bit further than that. Last knockings of the game. Share on the ball inside his own half. My stopwatch tells me we've now played the 8 minutes of added time. Anthony Taylor agrees, and the 2 teams share the spoils. Newcastle twice in front, twice they were pegged back. It finished 2-2. Massive blow for Wolves, losing Neto to the hamstring injury in the second half. Paul Robinson, that will affect them going forward. But really enjoyed that.
It was a fantastic game of football. Like I said there, just at the end of the game, 2 managers will be delighted what they've seen from their team. Both had a game plan. Both sets of players gave absolutely everything out there. Newcastle, having played midweek against Dortmund, there's a lot of tired bodies out there. You can see the centre halves. Dan Burn just got through. They had to dig deep. They had to go places where they train. That's what they train for. They train hard to get there. The Wolves players under Gary O'Neill, indifferent start to the season, but you can see that they've really turned a corner. 2 very good teams there, and that was really enjoyable.